This is your girl Sage, aka Sage the Urban Witch, and I am on for a pick a card reading for you guys, okay? We're going to get into the read in just a minute. I'm going to let you guys know what it is. For those of you guys who did not catch my community post, okay, when I announced that I will be coming on today, all right? So let me go ahead on you guys and turn on my big screen so that I can see myself. And I hope that you guys are doing well today. Happy Sunday to everyone, okay? Hope that you guys have made time to reset, rejuvenate, okay? Get everything ready, for the upcoming week so that you'll have, you'll be off to a very excellent start, okay? So hope that, all is going good in your neighborhood, okay? So let me see you guys. What's up with the chat, okay? And also with the live stream here. I'm looking at my big screen. I think I have a delay. I always usually have a delay. Okay, I see my hands moving. Okay, so we're about maybe like a 3 to 6 second delay, so it's all good. Okay, so hello guys, Design Tarot. How are you, dear one? Okay, all right, so you have chosen the throat chakra card already. Okay, very good, very good. Okay, so for the rest of you guys who are coming in, okay, I want to say welcome to you guys. Now again, your girl got attention deficit, right? So as you guys come in and leave your very beautiful comments in the chat, okay, just know that I'm not ignoring you guys if I don't see the chat at the time. I saw that though. Hi Cersei, thank you for that beautiful gift. Okay, Uncle Alert. So just in case you guys, if I don't see you guys in the chat, okay, at the time that you enter into the chat, okay, just know that I'm not ignoring you guys. I will give you guys some shout outs and say hi, you guys, okay, as many of you as I can after the read, okay? All right, so having said that, you guys, again, welcome to my channel, y'all, and I thank you guys in advance for the likes, the shares, and the subscribes. And y'all, I don't know how to get hyped up. Now, I haven't seen it, I haven't seen it on my channel. I don't think you could do it. You can't hype yourself up, and I haven't really seen a type of button or something where you can hype yourself up. I saw maybe a few of my videos in the past being hyped up, but I don't know how it's done. So for those of you guys, if you're hip to that, you know how to do that. Hype up your girl. Yeah, hype me up. Hype me up. Yeah, okay, hype up today's video, y'all. This is gonna be a good one today. Okay, well, all of them are good, but as I'm meditating, I get particularly excited over the message when I know that it is an on time, timeless message, okay? But yeah, so anyways, you guys, I thank you guys for your likes, your shares, and subscribes in advance. I hype up the video, y'all, okay? Also, thank you to those of you guys who are continuing to purchase readings from your girl. I appreciate it very much, and I love what I do. I love helping you guys and assisting you on your personal and spiritual journey, okay? So thank you guys very much. Also, thank you for those of you guys who are continuing to donate to my business website, okay? And for those of you guys who are still on the fence, or if you didn't even know, okay, want to let you guys know that personal readings are still currently available. Yeah, and all you got to do is hit up your girl, at WizdomandSage@gmail.com. That's WIZDOM and sage@gmail.com, and then write personal reading in the subject line to get the party started, okay? Also want to remind you guys that all year round I have economy and mini readings. So for those of you guys where you want to get like a tester reading to see what it would be like to get a reading with your girl before you invest in a more standard reading, okay, in a standard price reading, then I want to let you guys know that those are available all year round, still currently today, for as little as $15 to $44, okay? So check out the website for the prices and the details, okay? All right. So having said that, y'all, we're going to get into today's read, okay? Today, you guys, we have a pick a card reading, okay? We have 2 piles here, okay? So the first, for those of you guys who will choose or have chosen pile 1, you guys, we have the number 6, Memories of Love, okay? Memories of Love. And then for those of you guys who have chosen or will choose pile 2, we have throat chakra in reverse, okay? It was in reverse. The number 5, throat chakra, okay, in reverse, okay? That's for those of you guys who chose pile 2, okay? So today's read, you guys, we're going to focus on what is the gossip on your enemy or your enemies, okay? Because as I was in the ethers, you guys, as I was meditating, before I came on to Yeah, before I pushed the button, Spirit was showing me a lot of things in the ethers in terms of, it always seems as though, your enemies, whether they're hidden enemies or whether you know who they are, they always in your business. They stay in your business. And a lot of them, dear one, they become so bold and so arrogant and so brazen because they think that they'll never get caught. They think that they'll never get exposed. They think that their business will never be out on Front Street, that it always will be your business because, they seem to be of the type of mentality that, he or she who is the loudest is the one that's right. And we know that is not the case. But you got a lot of you all, your enemy or your enemies, they're constantly running their mouth, okay? And they're very loud and they're very wrong. And because a lot of times you guys are so laid back and you're minding your own business, you guys are minding the business that pays you. A lot of times, you don't have time to address these fools in terms of what they're saying about you, okay? What they're saying about your character, all of the smear campaigning and, basically all of the rah-rah, all of the smoke and mirrors that they engage in because they really, they really love your ass, but they're just confused. They are a confused groupie and they know that the minute that they shut the fuck up and stop talking about you, okay, everybody gonna know that they really ain't got no life, okay? So it's like you have become their lifeline to be front and stage, front and center, okay? You have become their lifeline for people to focus on them because even when your name is being mentioned, dear one, out of the mouth of your enemy, because you're still so high vibrational and potent and you're still so influential and you're still so popping, people still are going to want to know about you, dear one, whether it is a lie or whether it is a truth, no matter whose mouth it's coming out of, whether it's coming out of the mouth of a friend, a loved one, or whether it's coming out of the mouth of a janky ass, enemy. So some of you guys as enemies, dear one, they have caught on to this. And, their clouds, their claim to fame, their attempt to continue to try to be relevant. Even if you have fallen out with his enemy, stop talking to them, go on no contact with them, haven't seen them, been with them, or befriended them, or whatever the case may be, years, okay, 2 or more years ago. They still talking about you, dear one, as if whatever happened to you guys, between the two of you guys, like it just happened yesterday, okay? Because they're still trying to get clout off your name. So Spirit is like, since they always up in the collector's business, okay, let's get up in their business today, okay? Let's put their ass on blast, okay? So we can just cut through all of the smoke and mirrors of them doing the fake flexing, online, on the Grammy, on the TikTok, on the YouTube, and whatever else they got going on, okay? Out in these streets, okay? Yeah, let's put them on blast, dear one. Behind their smiling faces, okay? Behind the fake flexing, behind the smiles and the this and the that, these people are absolutely miserable. Your enemy or your enemies, and we about to get into it, okay? Come through, Spirit. So, for those of you guys who chose pile 1, okay, again, we have the number 6, memories of love, okay? So for those of you guys who chose pile 1, dear one, the gossip on your enemy or enemies is that, still stuck on stupid in terms of not being able to let you go. Still reminiscing about how, once upon a time they were able to pull the wool over your eyes. And, they missed the good old days, collective, when, you still believed in them, when you still cared about them or loved them, or you believed that they were a good person, before the mask slipped, okay? And, back in that time when, you weren't quite in your power, you weren't quite the type of person where you could confront a mofo and let them know, that you're on to them and then leave their ass right where they stand, right where they lay. You guys used to be the type of person where, you didn't want to rock the boat, yeah. You don't want to confront people. You thought that you can love the hell out of people, the hell and the evil out of people. And then you discovered that that wasn't the case. And then you had to turn them loose because something happened where you had to choose yourself over this enemy, okay? A lot of you guys didn't even realize that this person was an enemy. And so, the gossip about this enemy of yours, dear one, is that, they're still kind of holding some type of weird, bizarre, twisted ass torch for you, okay? It's like they really don't see or care anything or even know anything about the true you, who you are collective at the core of your being, because this person was so busy trying to project onto you. They were so busy trying to create an image of you that would make them feel good, an image of you based on, their dysfunction, based on their toxicity, based on their inability to be accountable. So they never really truly knew you, okay? But it's like whatever type of image, whatever type of fantasy, dear one, that they have in their head about you, people are talking about this person, how, this person is just a stone cold fool, okay? Here it is, 6 months to 6 years or more for some of you guys, where you have, the last time you talked to or dealt with this person or been involved or interacted with this person in any way, shape, or form, you have moved on with your life, dear one, and they still stuck on stupid. They still holding a torch for you. They still think that they could come back around and, a do-over, and that they could put the mask back on. That mask that slipped off when you realize that this person ain't shit, okay? When you realize that, you were sleeping with the enemy, okay? When you realize that, this person don't have your best interests at heart, and, even though, y'all might share the same last name, this person is a goddamn wolf, okay? In sheep's clothing. They're thinking about and talking about, dear one, the good old days, when you were in their life, or when they had you fooled, when you were naive, when, you see that color there, when you were green, okay? Green and gullible, dear one. They're still talking about that, okay? They're still trying to, remember the good old times when, they had some sense of control over your mind, over your actions, over how you perceived them, okay, is what I'm hearing from Spirit. So for those of you guys who chose pile 1, that's a little bit about your enemy and the gossip on them, okay? All right, so let's get into it, y'all, okay? What is the gossip on your enemy, okay, or on your enemies, okay? All right. So, dear one, we have the first message. You're a healer. You're a healer, okay? So, the gossip on your enemies, dear one, is that people are talking about how the only reason why this person came towards you, or the only reason why this person, wanted to get into your inner circle or into your good graces in the first place, dear one, is because they recognized that you were a healer and they just wanted to use you. They just wanted to use you for what you had, okay? I'm hearing from Spirit, this person knew that for whatever reason, dear one, they weren't on your level in the first place. And this is why they hid. This is why they wore a mask, because, they really wanted to fool you into believing that, they were on your level and that you guys were a match, okay? Or that, they had, the same qualities, the same goals, the same aspiration as you. But, really, dear one, your people are talking about this enemy, how, they know that, he or she did a bait and switch on you, they presented themselves to be top tier. They presented themselves to have it going on. They presented themselves to be, having it all together, mentally, emotionally, and financially stable. But this person was like a bait and switch, they love bombed you, and they only presented themselves to be on your level just so that they can get in where they fit in. And then when they let your guard down, dear one, when you felt comfortable around this person, it just became well known that this person had a lot of skeletons in the closet. They had a lot of issues, okay? And basically, they came towards you in the first place, dear one, because they wanted you to fix them. They wanted you to heal them, okay? They wanted to hide behind your kindness, your love. They wanted to benefit off of your mojo, off of your creative and sexual energy, okay? They wanted to benefit off of your emotion and off of your compassion. And because they knew, dear one, from the start that you were a healer, a lot of them, dear one, they felt entitled with their arrogant rabbit ass, okay? Yeah, your enemy, dear one, they felt entitled to you. They feel entitled to your healing, loving energy. And people are talking about, how this person ain't shit, okay? People are talking about how, they wouldn't leave their pet dog, their pet rabbit around this person, okay? Because they know that, this person got issues, okay? They know that this person is diabolical. And a lot of them, dear one, as they're talking about your enemies, they're also talking about you, and they're saying that, hopefully, you have moved on truly, and hopefully you have given yourself yourself grace and you have forgiven yourself, because you know when it comes to your enemy, you didn't have a clue about how treacherous and how raggedy and diabolical and for the streets they truly were. A lot of people are talking about how you guys were fooled, okay? You were bamboozled. This person came into your life, dear one. However they came in, okay? They came in with an agenda, okay? They came in with an agenda not to, you know, be a giver, but to be a taker, okay? And so this is some of the gossip, dear one. This is some of the things that people are saying about your enemy or your enemies, okay? Is what I'm hearing from Spirit, okay? People are also talking about, dear one, that ever since you left or ever since you got away from this person, come through Spirit, this person, you know, they're down bad, okay? They're looking sickly. They're looking ill, okay? They've either gained a lot of weight or lost a lot of weight, enough for people to notice that something ain't right with how they used to be, okay? They may be looking a lot older, a lot, you know, a little bit raggedy, a little bit janky, a little bit haggard in the face, okay? Yeah, the glow is gone. They're looking very dull, okay? They don't have no energy. Yeah, people are talking about, you know, your enemy, dear one, about how they ain't nothing but a goddamn energy vampire, and they know that you know, ever since you cut them loose and they have not been able to reattach to you in some way, shape, or form, whether it be to reconnect, talk to you on the phone, you know, come by, you know, see you, visit you, you know, interact with you online, offline, okay, be intimate with you, you know, get back in your good graces, and, you know, for you to forgive them if this is a family situation. However, this person, dear one, have tried to attach, and I heard renegotiate, okay? Somebody, dear one, is like now they want to renegotiate, you know? It's kind of like they're hoping and wishing and praying that you forget all about the fact that you saw that they wasn't nothing but a goddamn devil. They just hoping that you're going to go back and stick your head in the sand and pretend as though you never saw what you saw, okay? When you saw this person's fangs come out, they want to pretend they're never heard what you heard, okay? When you know you heard either from this person's mouth directly, or you know from people that were around this person, that they were talking about you like a damn dog, and you know calling you everything but a child of God, okay? Yeah, so people talking about you, yeah, they know you a healer, so did your enemy, but now that you gone, they looking toe up from the floor up, dear one, is what people are saying, okay? Look sickly, okay, looking like they need to go to the doctor. Yeah. Let's see what else, dear one, okay? We have the energy, we have the message, stalked by dark witches and warlocks. Come, Spirit, yeah. So the gossip on your enemy or your enemies, dear one, I'm hearing the irony. I'm hearing poetic justice, okay? Because, dear one, your enemy, they were involved in some type of gang stalking circle or regime, some type of bullying group, harassment group, okay? Some type of agenda, dear one, to just, you know, give you anxiety, make you afraid, okay? Make you feel as though you were on the run, make you feel as though you weren't safe, you know? You couldn't sleep good, you know? You couldn't, you know, feel comfortable in your neighborhood or on your job, okay? Yeah, everywhere that you would be, dear one, it's like they try to, you know, enclose people around you, to encroach upon your space, your personal space, your privacy, your security, your information. Well, now, dear one, come through Spirit, people are gossiping about your enemies, and they're saying that, you know, hey, what's good for the goose is good for the gander, because, you know, the very same regime that they were doing against you, you know, the people that they had hired or recruited, dear one, to be their flying monkeys to come against you, now these people have turned against your enemy, okay? I'm hearing in the ether, some of them, dear one, you know, they have really gotten in your enemy's ass, because they were like, you know, why the fuck did you lie to us and make us believe this about collective, make us believe that? Some of us, you know, we got consequences for that. Some of us, we got caught up in legal shit. Some of us, you know, we've been hit, you know, our relationships, you know, ain't been right, you know, everything going on in the home ain't been right, you know, our relationships ain't been right, our health ain't been right, and we know that this has a lot to do with your funky ass, okay? So a lot of them, dear one, I'm hearing from Spirit, the word on the ethers is that, you know, the very same people that your enemy or your enemies had kind of like recruited, you know, to be on their team, to do their dirty work, to do their bidding, to come up against you because, they're big bussy and they couldn't, step toe to toe with you, dear one. They're a coward. They could never confront you face to face, and they couldn't even, deal with you behind the scenes by themselves. They had to gather. I say they gathered. They had to gather up a whole entire group, a whole entire crew, posse, some type of janky ass, skid row ass, low budget ass, coven or some shit like that to come against you, dear one. And now that the truth has come out and this person has been exposed, because what your enemy didn't count on, dear one, they didn't count on the fact that, whoever they recruited, that, they would get smart enough and they would say, hey, this person is very, very, focused, very obsessed with this person. So, now I'm curious. Now I want to find out, what's so special about this person that, this enemy is all up collective's ass. Okay. So, dear one, the enemies that was recruited by your number one enemy, they began to do research on you guys. They began to watch you guys online. They began to watch you guys at work. They began to watch you guys in the neighborhood, not to the point where, at that point when they started saying, something ain't adding up, something ain't right because my life is going to shit. So, everything that, this enemy of yours is telling me can't be true. It can't be adding up, or I wouldn't be getting hit so hard. So these people, dear one, they began to do their homework on you. And lo and behold, they found out that this enemy of yours was nothing but a motherfucking liar. Just obsessed, that they was just butthurt because you rejected them. You stopped talking to them. Oh, they envious of the way you look. Oh, you make more money than them. Oh, you got more options than them. Over something stupid, but it had nothing to do with the fact of what this enemy had lied about, dear one, and what they said about you. This enemy of yours had lied so much, they had these people that they recruited thinking that, you tried to, murk their mama, that you tried to get their kids taken away, that you tried to, burglarize or vandalize their vehicle or their home, or that you tried to take them out or take somebody out. I mean, the lies, the gargantuan tall tales, come through spirit, the gargantuan tall tales that your enemy said about you, it was just so bombastic that, the first time hearing it, the people that they recruited, they got instantly mad and they was like, oh, hell no. Oh, we got your back. We gonna do this. We gonna do that. And a lot of them, dear one, it was their fault for being a little bit too trusting and a little bit too gullible to believe this person over you. But because, this person, they was loud and wrong. Yeah. They was doing all of the talking and, you guys were nowhere at that time in the scene to defend yourself. It appears as though the one that was always running their mouth was the one that was right. Okay. That is until the enemies that was recruited, the higher enemies, right? Because, before they were neutral, they didn't even know nothing about you. They didn't even know your name. They didn't even know your social media or how to even get in contact with you, how to figure you out. Before all of that, dear one, they were quick to believe your enemies. But then after a while, things started not adding up right. And so then the enemies that were recruited, the higher enemies, they was like, something ain't right. Let me just check this out for myself. Let me just see what collective is, for myself, And then lo and behold, they were like, this lying motherfucker had us doing work, had us doing juju, had us, dropping by, keeping tabs, had us, trying to, hack their accounts, had us trying to, stalk them at work, stalk them in their neighborhood, had us trying to do all of this and all of that, only to find out that it was based on a lie. Yeah. So I'm hearing from spirit, dear one, in the current ethers, what's happening now is that your enemy that hired these people to come against y'all, now these people have turned against your enemies, and I'm hearing they whooping their ass and they whooping it good. Okay, if these people were hired to do spiritual work on you all, now they got your enemy on the motherfucking altar. Yeah, now they cutting up chickens. They doing more than cutting up chickens to eat. Yeah, now they cutting up chickens because they getting ready to do some of that goddamn Ephah some of that goddamn, that Yoruba, yeah, some of that, Santeria, yeah, on that motherfucker, okay? Yeah, so, they crying now. See, it was funny when they had hired people to come against you, dear one, and then they had the audacity to continue to tell these tall lies to these people, yeah, to continue to gang up with you, dear one, with these people that, they hired, that they recruited, that they befriended, okay? These dark witches and warlocks have now turned on your enemy, and now they're stalking him, her. Okay? I'm hearing no rest for the wicked, okay? Is what I'm hearing from spirit, okay? And that's what they get, okay? Raggedy motherfuckers. Come through, spirit. Let's find out what else, y'all, okay? What is the gossip on your enemy or on your enemies, okay? This one is in reverse. It says they want to recruit you. Ain't that about a bitch? It's in reverse. So now, dear one, the gossip on your enemy is that, in some way, shape, or form, the people around him or her know that they have gotten their ass kicked so bad. They know that your ancestors have leveraged off and kicked off in their ass so tough that now it's like, they're waving this, white flag, and they're trying to now conjure up a way, a reason to get in where they fit in and to try to, reconcile with you. They want to make amends. They want your forgiveness because the heat that is on their ass, they can't handle it. So, what's being talked about them now is that, big ass hypocrite, now they backtracking. Yeah. They backtracking on everything that they said about you, dear one. And now they want to try to find, I'm hearing, like my enemies, if I can't beat them, I want to join them. So that's the type of attitude that your enemy now has. They recognize, dear one, that they cannot beat you. So now they're trying to conjure up a way to try to join you. They want to recruit you, okay? But it's a secret. They still trying to get the plans off the ground. They still trying to see if they can get back into good graces with some people, or even go to a whole different, entirely new group of people, because now they want to try to find a way to get into your good graces. Now, make no mistake, dear one, your enemy is still an enemy. They still raggedy, they still ain't about a good goddamn, okay? You still can't throw them as far as, you can't trust them as far as you could throw them, okay? But now it's like they're trying to switch up their plan, when they try to come at you behind the scenes with that passive aggressive rah-rah. Now they trying to, figure out a way how they can, soften your heart, okay, against them. Will you have mercy on them? Yeah? Will you give them grace, okay? Because, back in the day, okay, memories, okay? Back in the day, dear one, they remember once upon a time when you were nice, when you were kind, when you were loving, not only in general, because, that's who you are, but, once upon a time when you were nice, kind, and, loving to them. That is before you realized that they was a raggedy, janky, wicked motherfucker, okay? Come through, spirit. So now they're trying to devise a plan, and everybody talking about, like, look at this fool, he's still on that dumb shit. She's still on that dumb shit. Still talking about collective. Now, they didn't talk about collective like a dog. They getting their ass whipped from the left and from the right because of collective. Now, they can't just walk away. They can't just take an L. Now they want to try to find another method, another way to come back into their life, I'm hearing, to finish the job. So it's like now they're trying to switch masks, okay? Like the first mask was that, I don't care nothing about this bitch. I don't care nothing about this whole, let's get this whole, let's do this, let's do that, right? And they got their ass handed to them. They still currently suffering. So now they think they can get at you, dear one, by trying to match your energy of you being compassionate, okay? I'm hearing wolves in sheep's clothing. They want to slither their way back into your good graces, okay? And people are talking about this person. And a lot of you guys, dear one, you may not know it, but a lot of you guys, spirit says, y'all got a lot of people watching you guys. And mainly, a lot of it has to do with this enemy of yours, because they're so damn obsessed with you all, and people have been sitting back in a cut and watching how you have been just totally tearing a new one in this enemy or in this group of enemies, dear one. And they're like, okay, this mofo just don't know how to sit down. He gonna have to get laid down. We gonna tune in and we gonna just keep, seeing what's gonna happen of this person, what's gonna happen to this person, because they still have haven't learned their lesson yet. So, dear one, y'all need to know that y'all got people checking y'all out like y'all a goddamn reality TV show. And half of y'all don't even know it. Y'all don't know these people, but a lot of people, they clocked in and they tuned into you guys, okay? You guys, you haven't been dealing with your enemy, this secret enemy. Some of y'all, they're a secret enemy. Some of y'all, they're a known enemy, okay? But whatever the case may be, y'all don't really deal with them up close and personal, face to face. But, people know, dear one, people around your enemy know that they're still heavily invested in trying to take you down. They're still heavily invested in trying to, get to you in some way, shape, or form, because they remember back in the day when they had a foot in. They remember back in the day when they, you cared about them in some way, shape, or form, and they were able to use your love and your care against you, okay? But they fail to realize, dear one, that, you ain't no fool no more. You have already seen the mask of this person. And so now it's going to be, very, very difficult. Hell, even Ray Charles can see what this motherfucker is up to. And surely y'all can too. But this person, dear one, they have to delude themselves, okay? They got to try to, fool themselves into believing that I still got it. I still got the juice. I can still do it. I just need to tweak this on the new moon. I need to do something different. I need to do that on the full moon. They still trying to delude themselves, dear one, into taking you down. And a lot of people around them, this is what they're saying about this person. People are saying, this person, they gonna end up in the grave. They gonna end up toe tagging, getting toe tagged, fucking with the collective. And so now people, dear one, they're so amused by you, they're so intrigued by you, that a lot of you guys who had once come against you, now they're, dear one, they secretly admire you. Some of them are secretly rooting for you against this enemy that once upon a time they used to gang up with and they used to join to try to do some janky diabolical shit, against you. Now, dear one, it's like they rooting for you and they saying to themselves, yeah, collective, whoop this mofo's ass, okay? Because they ain't gonna learn until, they almost got 1 foot in the damn dirt, 1 foot in the ground. They ain't gonna learn until they ass is in a hospital with their left leg cocked up in the air and with a cast on the right arm, okay? And with this damn gauze wrapped around their dumb ass head, because they just don't understand that, you're not to be fucked with. Come through, spirit. Yeah, so this is some of the gossip, dear one, about your enemy, okay? Now, let's tune in and get some more, you guys. We're going to try a different deck here to see what other type of different energies will come out, okay? This is the, what's the vibe deck, okay? So let's see what's happening. All right. What is the gossip on your enemy or your enemies, collective, okay? Oh, come through, spirit. We have the card family, blood ties, and inner circle. Yeah. So, dear one, I'm hearing from spirit right off the bat, the gossip on your enemies is that they ought to be ashamed of themselves. Now, this particular energy that I'm tapping into, this is telling me, spirit is saying that whoever this enemy is for you guys, this is like a family member. This is someone in you all's family. This is someone that is related to you guys, blood ties. Y'all have the same name or the same maiden name, okay? This could be a parent, a grandparent, a sibling, a cousin, an uncle, an aunt, or whatever, okay? Yeah. Also, dear one, people are saying that, if this person, this enemy, is not a blood-related type of person, this is someone, dear one, that you trusted like a brother, you trusted like a sister, okay? I'm hearing still closer to you than a brother. This is someone, dear one, that for all intents and purposes, they showed up and presented themselves to be like, someone that, was like a sister to you or like a brother to you or like a, a godmother or godfather. Someone that, they was supposed to, they presented themselves that, I'll take up the charge of loving you. I'll take up the charge of, wherever your parent or wherever your sibling left off and they didn't do you right, okay? I'm going to show you what love is, and that, everybody that loves you doesn't have to come from your family. So this could have been a bestie, okay? But whatever the case may be, dear one, Spirit is saying, the gossip or on this enemy of yours or these enemies is that they need to be goddamn ashamed of themselves because, for them to, do what they did to you, for them to, come at you just so aggressively, just so wicked with their fangs out, and that you didn't do nothing to these people, okay? I'm hearing you were innocent. People are talking about, something has to be seriously wrong with your enemy. They got to be mentally ill, okay? They got to be wicked. They have to have some type of spiritual deficit, going on for them to come at you the way that they have come up against you, dear one. When, you only was a loving person. You only wanted to be loved and validated and supported. And this person, this group of people, dear one, for some of you guys and for others of you guys, is one particular person, okay? That Spirit is saying, it has something to do with family. It has something to do with like a blood tie, or it has something to do with, someone that you really accepted into your inner circle to be a part of your family, like the family that you create outside of a bloodline, like that, okay? And this person, dear one, they came up against you. And people are saying that, the gossip on your enemies is that, these people came up against you, dear one, because they were jealous of your love. They didn't want, you to love anybody else but them. But they knew on a fundamental level that they didn't even deserve your love because they didn't know how to give it back in return. Okay. So it's like, people were talking about how, these people, these enemies of yours, it's like they felt like they had some type of ownership over you. And this is why they would abuse you. This is why, there was like this intermittent abuse, like I love you, I hate you, I love you, I hate you. Go away, come back, okay? You ain't shit. Oh, you the bomb, okay? You ain't nothing. Oh, I can't live without you. This schizophrenia. Yeah, up and down. Because they couldn't even come to terms with the fact that they were so goddamn crazy and mentally ill, and how they felt about you. There was a level of possession, there was a level of admiration, and there was also a level of hatred, all swirled together at the same time. So this enemy or these enemies of yours, dear one, this is why they were so confusing to you guys, because you were like, damn, 1 minute, you talking about me and cussing me out and, saying I ain't shit. And then, I give you your space and I'm about to, go no contact because I had enough and I'm tired of you disrespecting me. Then the minute that you see that, I'm cool on you and I'm about to, move away and leave your ass right where you stand and where you lay, then all of a sudden you come back in my motherfucking face, giving me flowers or giving me this, giving me that, apologizing or not even apologizing, just pretending as though the shit didn't even happen, okay? You're trying to confuse me. You're trying to throw me off my A game. You're trying to, you're doing all of that crazy making. You're a weirdo, okay? And so a lot of people, dear one, the gossip on your enemies is that when it comes to you, or when it came to you, that a lot of these people, family members or people that were close to you guys, okay, that they were so weird towards you because, on the one end, they wanted to possess you. They didn't want you to go off and have a life without them because they knew that they didn't have enough to raise up to your level. And they knew, dear one, that once you left, that your ass would never come back. And that Spirit made it so that, they couldn't come with you, right? So it was like, they wanted to play these mind games and keep telling you that you ain't shit, you ain't never gonna be shit, because they wanted you to feel like you were stuck and that you had no place to go but to them, okay? They wanted to feel like, they were the God in your life, okay? They wanted to have some type of ownership over you, because at the end of the day, dear one, even though they were very envious of you, they still kind of admired you at the same time. It's very weird. Love-hate, they had like a love-hate type of relationship towards you, They admired your love, your compassion. They benefit from your love and compassion, even though they didn't give it back to you in return. Or at the least, they would breadcrumb your ass just enough to keep you confused and keep you around, okay? All of this cat and mouse back and forth. And people are talking about how weird, okay, some of these people are, these enemies of yours, or this enemy, okay? A lot of people, they're saying that they're so glad that you guys got away. They're so glad that you woke up, you woke up and you smelled the coffee. They're so glad that you're not willing to keep going around that circle, same old circle, that same back and forth shit, okay? Because you know how they are. They're not gonna change, okay? They're diabolical, okay? You've been there, done that, and you ready to do a new thing. You're tired of running around and walking around the same mountain with these same stupid ass motherfuckers. They gonna do the same thing over and over, back and forth, back and forth. And it's like they literally just want to keep you engaged. They don't want you to leave, you know. They don't want you to go. They don't want you to focus on yourself, because they know, dear one, that if you focus on yourself, that's that much more quicker that you're gonna elevate to the top. And you know, they can't stand that, because they know they're not gonna be a part of that. They know they're not gonna be able to partake of that. Meanwhile, you know, a lot of you guys, dear one, I'm hearing from spirit, you guys got a lot of people that are talking about your enemy or your enemies, and now they're like, oh, I feel sorry for a collective that I didn't believe them the first time. You know, my bad that, you know, I was so quick to believe whatever this person had to say, because this person is crazy as hell. This person is diabolical as hell. I don't blame collective for wanting to leave, to get the hell out of town. I don't blame collective for wanting to, you know, leave them and never come back. Okay, I don't blame collective for wanting to say, you know, I'm cutting my ties, I'm cutting the losses, you know, I'm trimming the fat, and I'm moving on with my life, because you know, you's a crazy motherfucker. Okay, and because if I stay here, if I stay around you, come through spirit, I'm gonna end up, you know, in prison. And you know, I'm too pretty. I'm too attractive, damn it. I'm too handsome, you know, to be up in a jail cell with a motherfucker named Bubba, okay? To be up in a jail cell, you know, with a girl named, you know, Big Susie, okay? You know, I don't look good in prison orange, bitch, okay? I might look good in a lot of other colors, you know. Tan is my color, you know. Navy blue might be my color, you know. I could rock with some pink, okay? I can maybe even rock in all white, okay? I could rocking all white all motherfucking night. But one color I do not like that don't look good on me is prison orange. So I got to go, ho, because if I stay here, you gonna take away my freedom. If I stay here, I'm gonna catch a case. And a lot of you guys, dear one, as they're talking about your enemies, they're like, they don't blame you. They're like, damn, you know, they wish that they would have believed you, you know, when it was all going down, or they wish that they would have believed you before they got caught up and before they took the side of this particular enemy. That's very weird, very bizarre. The obsession that they have with you, dear one. I mean, I'm feeling that you know, it's got a lot of like ownership, like I own you. It's like, you know, whatever you got, that belongs to me, you know, your love, your money, your attention, your essence. But at the same time, I'm gonna, you know, continue to humble you and make you feel like you ain't shit, because I ain't gonna give you nothing. You know, that's the type of energy that is given. And they're so weird and bizarre, dear one. This enemy of yours, or for some of you guys, enemies of yours, it's like they don't want to leave you the fuck alone. You know, they can't stop talking about you. You know, they can't stop bringing your name up, okay? Birthdays, holidays, weddings, funerals, whatever this, whatever that. Your name is going to come out of one of their mouths, okay? On any given day. And people are starting to look at them. People are looking at your enemies like, this motherfucker is ill. Okay? So, dear one, this is some of the things that's going on behind your back, you know, as it concerns your enemies, okay? What they're saying about your enemy, dear one, a lot of them, I just keep hearing there's a lot of remorse in the energy, yeah? There's a lot of remorse in the ethos, because, you know, some of these people, dear one, they now recognize that they were bamboozled. They now recognize that they believed the wrong person, you know? They thought they was on, you know, the right side, the side of truth, but they realized that, you know, they were fooled, okay? And some of them, dear one, you know, they have to come to terms with the fact that, you know, they got to take some blame in that, because they never came to you and they never gave you an opportunity to tell your truth. They were so quick to believe your enemy, this lying motherfucker, or these group of people. They didn't even hear your side. And that's because a lot of them, dear one, they have to come to terms with the fact that, wow, I gotta admit, you know, I was kind of envious of, you know, collective myself. I was kind of glad, you know, on a low that it was happening to them and not me. You know, I was kind of glad that, you know, it was happening to them, because I felt like, you know, whenever I was around them, hell, they made me feel insecure. They made me feel insignificant. They made me feel like I had to try harder, or like I wasn't doing enough. And so, yeah, I mean, I literally, at the end of the day, I got to sit down and say, damn, you know, I kind of wanted this to happen to them. I kind of was smirking. I kind of was laughing. I kind of was, you know, placing a bet, trying to see how long it was going to take for them to go down. Because part of me was so envious of them and envious of their potential that when I stood up next to them, I fell short. So a lot of them, dear one, I'm hearing great remorse. And And I wouldn't feel sorry for these motherfuckers, dear one, because your absence has caused them to face the truth of their own wickedness. And this is why they were so quick to believe the lies and the bullshit and to join in with all of this gang stalking fuckery and all of this laying your ass on the altar and, calling babalawers and ephods, or whether they were doing it themselves, cutting up chickens and shit, pretending as though they was cutting up to eat it when they was really cutting up that motherfucker to put your ass on the altar and to bind you and to put roots on your ass. Yeah, now it's like, that guilt is eating them up. But we shall feel no remorse for them. We don't feel sorry for their janky ass, because the only reason why, they are feeling it now is because this is part of their karma, and because your absence and, your presence, now that you're no longer there and around them, you're not, cloaking their wickedness. Their skeletons are no longer allowed to stay in the closet because you're gone. It's like when you left, you took the keys to the skeletons in the closet, and that motherfucker is busted wide open, and now they gotta look at that, and they can't blame you because you ain't there. Come through, spirit. Yeah, that's what it is, y'all. Okay, I'm gonna give you guys one more message from spirit for those of you guys who chose pile one, you guys. And look, they all falling apart. Yeah, they just, anxiety is what I'm hearing from spirit. Falling apart, can't keep their shit together. Some of them still lying. They can't keep their lie together. They keep getting caught. And so, it's a lot of that going on. See, everything means something, spirit. So when I'm shuffling and everything start falling, that's their life. Their motherfucking life is falling apart. Come through, spirit. Straight like that. All right, I'm gonna give you guys one more message, okay? Then we're gonna move on to pile two, you guys. Okay, so let's see what we got here. Okay, yeah, it's pretty much what I was saying. Come through, spirit, with that confirmation. We have the card consciousness. I don't know if you guys can see it. Okay, consciousness. Yeah, it's eating them up, dear one. It's eating up their conscience. Okay, and people are talking about how your enemy or your enemies, they're talking about how they need to be committed. Yeah, they're talking about how their mind is not right. Some of them, dear one, I'm hearing from spirit, you guys got people around your enemies right now, and they're trying to figure out what is the best way for them to force them into some type of intervention. Okay, yeah, some of them, dear one, they're saying that they understand a little bit better why your enemy was so wicked and so abusive towards you, because they ain't rap tight. They not right in the head. Some of them are talking about they have discovered that your enemy or your enemies, they're suffering from alcoholism. Okay, they got alcohol problems. Okay, yeah, they can't leave that bottle alone. Them spirits have gotten into their ass, and this is causing them, the spirits inside of them, the demons inside of them, your spirit, the spirit inside of you agitates the demons in them. Now people around your enemies, dear one, they're beginning to understand that. Okay, it's all about their consciousness. Something is wrong with them. Yeah. The gossip of some of your enemies, dear one, is that, people are, literally trying to figure out a way to, get this person committed. They need to be psychically or evaluated, okay? Psych evaluation, okay, is what I'm hearing from spirit. Some of them, dear one, people are saying, this person needs to be medicated, okay? Yeah. Some of them, dear one, they're saying that, what this person has done. Because some of you guys, dear one, there are certain things, come through, spirit. I'm in the ethers, y'all. Some of them, dear one, they're saying that, there's a lot of things that collective don't know about what this person has done or what they have tried to do that really could cause this person to have some serious legal consequences. For some of y'all, dear one, some of the shit that your enemy or enemies have done to you guys, or that they have tried to, but spirit blocked it and your ancestors stopped it. Yeah. Their ass could be going to jail. Okay, you're going to jail. Okay, so people are saying, dear one, something is seriously wrong with your enemy or your enemies. It goes beyond, a simple, strife, a simple, argument, a simple, misunderstanding, a simple, I just don't get along with her or him and they just don't get along with me. It goes beyond that. It's this type of, rabid, obsessive, pathological type of coming at your ass like they the goddamn predator from aliens like they the goddamn Terminator from motherfucking 1, 2, and 3 or any other more that they got out, And people are like, something, this person, this enemy of collective, they are sick. They are a threat to themselves. They are a threat to collective. They are a threat to the motherfucking society. We got to do something about this. Now, I already feel bad that I didn't believe collective when I should have. I already feel I played a part in this shit, and I should have, got the collective side of the story. I shouldn't have been so quick to jump to conclusions. I already feel bad that, part of me, was a hate of my own goddamn self. I was hating on the fact that, she's smarter or he's smarter than me. Or, they look better than me, or they got more opportunities than I had when I was their age, or, damn, they man, they spouse, they bae, they boo look better than mine. Some type of stupid shit, okay? They gotta now, dear one, sit back and admit that they played a part in that, which is why it was so easy for them to be beguiled and fooled by this enemy of yours, right? But they're talking about, dear one, how, this person needs to go to jail, or this person needs to have some legal consequences. This person needs to be ostracized. This person needs to be evaluated. Okay, they need to be in rehab. Okay, this person is on drugs. This person, is an alcoholic. This person is, mentally ill. They need to be evaluated. That's why they act so goddamn crazy. Now, it's something about you, dear one. It's like, you triggered this person so much. And now people are beginning to understand, okay, well, because people are saying, well, if they was crazy, hell, they'll be crazy toward not only collective, but me and her and him and this and that person. But nah, now they beginning to realize, dear one, that it's something about you that really particularly gets onto this person's skin in a way where, they can hold back their envy, they can hold back their anger, their rage, they can hold back their sociopathic tendencies, towards anybody else. But it's something about you is like they can't help themselves. They can't help themselves about trying to be a predator towards you. And this is why people know that it is something about you, dear one. Something about you being special. Something about you, the light in you, the spirit in you, your potential, your greatness just really aggravates and agitates this person, which is the reason why they have been gunning for your ass for a long time. Okay, so yeah, people are like, this is beyond, family stuff. This is beyond sibling rivalry. This is beyond us saying, well, that ain't me. That ain't my business. I'm gonna stay out of that. I ain't got nothing to do with that. Nah, fuck that. This is beyond that. This is beyond. We need an intervention because this enemy is ill. They need help. Okay, yeah, they are dangerous. Okay, it's gotten to that point, dear one. So in this current timeline, whenever you guys see this message, dear one, Spirit wants you guys to know in the current timeline, these are some of the things that are being said about your enemies, plural, or about your enemy, okay, as it relates to you. Yeah. So they might be flexing on the gram. They might be trying to pretend as though it's all good in the neighborhood. But dear one, according to the ethers and according to spirit, and neither spirit or the ethers don't lie, we all know that whatever they flexing and whatever they fronting, it's a motherfucking lie. They down bad, okay? And the people that they had, that they were using against you, that they recruited, they have turned on them, okay? Yeah. And they also know, dear one, they're getting their asses handed to them. Now that you have left, healer, everything that they were getting from you, that they were benefiting off of you, has gone to shit. So not only are they getting their asses handed to them, that now they're, they got health issues, okay, health problems, looking kind of haggard and shit, just drained, when you stop feeding the emotional vampire, when you pluck the tick off your back, okay, it's gonna die because it doesn't have a host, it doesn't have anything to feed off of, okay? That's very real. It's very real in the spirit realm. It's very real in the flesh, okay? And so people are talking about your enemies, dear one, because they are saying, physically, not mentally, how they're just getting crazier and crazier, talking out the side of their ass. They're getting crazier and crazier. If they were just a little bit of a closet drinker, now they're a full-blown alcoholic since you left, okay? And if they was doing a little bit of the Eddie Kane, they was doing a little bit of that, puff pass, they was doing a little bit of that, purple Jesus, whatever the case may be, yeah. It really full blown now. They out of control now, okay? Own karma, healer, you're gone. You pull back your energy. You're healing yourself. You're working on yourself. Now they're out there left alone by their lonesome, dear one, and people can see, damn, what's up with this? What's up with, what I'm going to call them enemy. What's up with enemy? Damn, they looking rough. Damn, they just toe down. You know, money ain't right. I didn't even recognize, bro. When I went up into the store the other day, you know, went up into Costco the other day. My wife sent me up there to get some of this and some of that. And I saw enemy. God damn, he looked bad. Bruh is down bad. Same thing they saying about, you know, your enemy, dear one, if this is a female. Damn, what happened to sis? Woo-wee, she look crazy as hell. She losing her hair. Skin look all gray and dull and shit. Or she done gained about 50 pounds, or she done lost about 80 pounds. She look like she look like she on that stuff, man. She look like she on it. Or she look like, man, you know, something got a hold of her. That spirit of gluttony got a hold on that hoe. She just look bad, bruh. You know? So, dear one, come through spirit. I'm hearing in the ethers, dear one, whole lot of stuff that, you know, is being said about your enemies behind your back that, you know, would make y'all laugh. You know, some of these things, dear one, that, you know, y'all would never know because, you know, in the 3D realm, you know, like I said, you know, you got your head down to get your money up. Yeah. You know, you focusing on your little ones, you know, making sure that, you know, they well taken care of. Okay. Yeah. You know, you making sure that, you know, you taking care of yourself and making it do what it do and making sure you get your first and your 15th and you holding it down. Yeah. So you ain't got time to be messing with these or thinking about these raggedy motherfuckers the way they thinking about you. And that's where your girl come in. Yeah. Holler at your girl. Cause I can see in the ethers, I'm your fly on the motherfucking wall. Yeah. And spirit says on today, he wanted y'all to get a little bit of that tea to, you know, find out, you know, what's going on. What's the word on the streets about your enemy or your enemies. And y'all, let me tell y'all now, they getting their asses handed to them. So forget about what you seeing online. That's optics, okay? It's an illusion. I'm hearing lights, camera, action. Forget about what they talking about. They lying. They fake flexing. They are down bad, okay? Is what I'm hearing from spirit. And that's what the fuck they get. Because you shouldn't be so goddamn ill. Okay, yeah, you shouldn't be so goddamn janky. Okay, yeah, so now you're getting your ass handed to you, and then to add flavor to the sauce, okay, to add that flavor that your neighbor savors, okay, yeah, now y'all get an opportunity to be that fly on the wall via your girl to find out what's going on with their raggedy ass, okay, because they always up in y'all business, and now y'all get to see what's going down with them. Now you know. All right. I'm gonna give y'all some signs, okay, and then we gonna move on to pile 2, okay. All right, so here we go. Thank you, spirit. For those of you guys where this message resonates, you or they, dear one, could very well be a Capricorn, Pisces, Gemini, Leo, Libra, Cancer, Sagittarius, Virgo, and Taurus, okay? Yeah. Thank you, spirit. Also, I'm hearing Scorpio rising, Leo moon, Sagittarius rising, Gemini moon, and Gemini rising, Aries rising. Thank you, spirit. Thank you. I just Takia, Talia, Timothy, Corvain. That's an interesting name. Veronica, Sheila, Jill, Julian, Jacob, Brian, Roderick, Roderick. Nickname could be Rod or Ro. Okay. And David. All right. Those are some of the names that popped out of the ethers. Okay. That's for those of you guys who chose pile 1. Okay. All right. Now, For those of you guys who chose pile 2, dear one, okay, you guys want to know, okay, what's the gossip on your enemies, okay? We have here the number 5. Let me turn this so y'all can see it. We have the number 5, throat chakra. The number 5, throat chakra, and it's in reverse, okay? It's in reverse, okay? So for those of you guys where this message most resonates, okay, Spirit wants you guys to know that, as far as your enemies are concerned, people are saying that, they notice that they ain't talking now like they used to, yeah? For those of you guys who chose pile 2, your enemy, they very quiet now, okay? I'm hearing cat got your tongue, they ain't laughing now. They ain't talking shit now because, the karma that has hit their ass is so tough that now they know that they can't even lie because they can't keep up with the lies. They know that people are now calling them to the carpet. People are now demanding receipts. And because they can't produce the receipts and because they can't even keep up with the lie, a lot of them have chosen to remain quiet. A lot of the dear ones, I'm hearing from Spirit, they have gone ghost, okay, with their friends, their networks, their homeboys, their homegirls, they used to be all popped out, always the first one on the scene with a gangster lean, yeah, always the one, flexing, okay, on the street, everybody, look at my car, look at my ride, look at this, look at that, always the first one, dear one, they was at the parties, okay, they was like, oh, come on through, baby, don't be tardy for the party. He's like, yeah, you say less, I'll be there, okay, well, that was back in the day, dear one, come through Spirit, but that's not what's happening now. Now they ask, they all shut in, they shut in, like them damn elders at church, when the pastor got to come by and pray for them because they can't get their ass out to come to the temple, to come to the church, to come to the mosque. This is how your enemy is now. They shut in, okay? So now, they're a recluse. Now they're like a hermit. They don't get out much, okay? I'm literally seeing the vision of somebody which, living room is just all funky, just all raggedy, just all dirty. And, they got the blind clothes and it's like, 10 o'clock in the morning. The sun want to come through, but, it look like a damn cave in there. They need to clean up in there. They need to wash their ass up in there. Everything is thrown off up in there. The air quality thrown off, the pH balance thrown off. Everything is motherfucking thrown off. Yeah. Because, now they're depressed, dear one. Because their greatest weapon when it came to you, dear one, was their raggedy ass mouth, their throat chakra. Oh, they got much joy, you guys, they got much joy off of trying to, shut down some good things in your life. Yeah. They got off, dear one, on trying to, close doors of opportunity for you guys before you even got a chance to open the door to get to the door. Yeah, they called in favors. I want y'all to know that. This is how janky some of y'all's enemies are. For those of you guys who chose pile 2, some of them, dear one, come through Spirit. Some of them, dear one, they were in positions of power. Yeah. They were in positions of authority where they can just make that call, and they knew people who knew people that could, shut that door for you, or that could make your life very uncomfortable, or that they could cause some type of mishap, some type of misunderstanding, or some type of consequence in your life. Yeah. And they got off on that, But now, dear one, fast forward to now, the karma has come back to bite them in the ass. Now people are demanding receipts that they cannot produce. And so now they're like, okay, well, it's just best for me to kind of like shut up. And not only that, dear one, I'm hearing from Spirit, because your authenticity and you living your truth has outshined all of the lies that this person, your enemy, has said and has been saying about you, where people are now looking at him or her, and now dear one, they're looking at you, and then they're looking at themselves and they're saying, wait a minute, goddamn it, the math ain't mathing. Okay, and so now they're demanding answers from your enemy, and your enemy, they can't be that smooth talker. They don't have that gift of gab like they used to, okay? Yeah, I'm hearing cat got your tongue. Yeah. So now they want, what they see you doing and saying in real time versus what they had heard this person saying about you out of their rabbit ass mouth. They're like, this not adding up. So now this person's very quiet. They're not at the parties no more. They're not on the scene no more, okay? A lot of them have stopped returning phone calls of their friends or family members, very, very depressed, okay? Yeah. very, very moody. I'm hearing that if this person is a mother, a baby mother or baby father, those poor children, they snapping off at the children, the children ain't did nothing to them. The child want to come in there and say, hey mom, hey dad, can I get this? Can I get a piece of this out of the cabinet? Can I have some of this for supper? Can I have this for a snack? And this raggedy ass enemy of yours is going off on their children, dear one, because they so mad at the fact that they no longer hold any type of control over you, where when all they had to do before was make a phone call or say something or start a smear campaign or try to switch or create a narrative about you, dear one, that wasn't true. Now that that's not working no more, they goddamn quiet. Okay. So this is some of the tea, dear one, in terms of the essence of this person, okay? The essence of your enemy, dear one, who has chosen, for those of you guys who chose pile 2, okay? So now let's get into a little bit more of the tea, okay? What is the tea on these streets about your enemy, okay? Let's see. Spirit, please let me know what is the gossip on my collective's enemies, okay? This one was in reverse, dear one, but it says, I grew up in the cult. Oh boy. Okay. So, dear one, people are now talking about your enemy. And this is one of the reasons why they're very quiet now, why they're very recluse, because I'm hearing that, there was some type of Uno reverse that was done on this motherfucker. And whereas before, he or she was so quick to try to, duck, go your ass, Google your ass, keep tabs on your ass, do research on your ass. Okay. Now, dear one, research has been done on your enemy, and they don't like what has been discovered. So this is why they really a hermit now. They really a recluse now. They're really not outside like they used to be, dear one, because people have searched and pried into their background, into their past. Come through, spirit, and people have come to discover that this motherfucker grew up in a cult. Now he didn't want nobody to know it, and now people are starting to realize, well, this is why this motherfucker was so weird, okay? This is why, he relates to women, or, he relates to men, or she relates to women, or she relates to men. This is why they do what they do. This is why they say what they say. They're weird. They grew up in a cult, okay? They grew up in, this type of tradition where to the average person, is very abnormal. To the average person, this is something that, the average person would run away from. We're like, nah, this goes against our morals. This goes against our ethics. This goes against, what we believe in. But this person, dear one, the very strange, abnormal way that this person was brought up, okay? Now they see that, maybe after all, this isn't normal. See, this is all they know. And a lot of them, dear one, they have turned their past traumas that happened to them, they turned it into a fetish. They turned it into a kink. And they developed this mentality that, I'm going to get you before you get me. Or, back in the day, I couldn't protect myself. I couldn't, fight off. So now I'm going to be the predator, and I'm going to see how it feels. Now I'm coming for everybody's throat. Now I'm coming for everybody's essence, everybody's innocence. Now I'm going to be the one to knock you down whole before you knock me down. So come through, spirit, dear one. People are starting to realize, well, collector didn't have a chance with this person. The values are different. The way they grew up is different. The vibe is different. The vibe is off. This person, they're like a goddamn sociopath, but they was coming to collective, like, they was an angel, like they was the good guy, the good guy coming to save the day, the good guy that, was ready for a relationship. But, they all about relationships. They don't know how to relate to nobody because they're twisted, okay? This is why, they're so into the threesomes, the foursomes, and the moresomes, okay? This is why they so into the, the Jezebels and the Jezebels, because they themselves ain't nothing but a hoe. Come through, spirit. Bars. This is why they act that way. This is why, they was, couldn't take no for an answer. This is why, they was all waving a, freak flag high in the sky, high in the air, and then would, try to talk down on you, collective, try to make you feel as though something was wrong with you. Oh, girl, you too vanilla. Oh, girl, you too square. This is what we do. This is where it's at. This is what we do. And you're like, nah, I don't get down like that, And so, you told this type of person no. And because of the type of warped mentality that they have, and because they have this sense of entitlement, and because, people around them that are just as toxic and dysfunctional as they are, and they're like, yeah, you're right. That person is wrong. Yeah, you should punish them. Yeah, you should gang stalk them. Yeah, you should do this and you should do that. They were talking to the wrong people. They were talking to the very people that turned them into the predator that they are, okay? Now, dear one, people are saying, well, Collective didn't have a chance because this motherfucker is ill, okay? Yeah, now we know why, there's been this long-standing stalking situation, why there's been this long-standing, situation of, Collective trying to run away and get away from this person because this person can't take no for an answer, and because, they're stalking Collective like they're goddamn prey in a forest, like they in the goddamn Hunger Games, this is why they keep stalking and lurking, like, they got Collective in a damn Truman Show because they're weird. Okay, they grew up weird. Okay, they grew up in a cult, and things that they consider normal is not normal to the average person. Okay, they grew up different. Okay, and it's different in a not good way, not different as in, I'm unique, but different as in, I'm a bizarre, weird motherfucker. Okay, yeah, that's what people are saying. That's what people have discovered about this person, okay? Yeah, this person has turned their trauma into a kink, dear one. They have turned their traumas, trying to hurt people, trying to control people, trying to manipulate people. They've turned that into a fetish. They've turned that into some type of, power play, You never had a chance with this person, dear one, is what I'm hearing from Spirit. If this was an intimate situation, because the way they came at you, they came at you with deception. They were never going to let you know that this is what they're all about, okay? They were never going to let you know that, they were already married, okay? Or they had multiple wives or multiple husbands, or they just had, sister bros and sister hoes. They was never going to let you know that, okay? Yeah, they were going to trick you from the start, okay? They were a Decepticon from the start, and they just wanted to lure you in, okay? Now, they just mad, dear one, that you wasn't about that life. And, there were others that got tricked. There were others that, got lured in or seduced. There were others, dear one, that out of fear they surrendered or submitted to this person. But dear one, you did not. Okay, your ancestors stepped in and said, oh hell no, y'all ain't doing that Freaky Friday shit over here. Not with my baby, not with my baby girl, not with my baby boy. You better get the fuck on and get some more, goddammit. And yeah, that's what happened. Okay, let's get some more tea for you guys, okay? Giving y'all that tea that you need to set you free, yeah? All right, so Spirit, what's the gossip on my collective's enemies, okay? Okay, I can just choose anyone if they want to come out. That's another thing, dear one. Not only are they quiet right about now, but if you are that truth speaker, that truth seeker, if you are exposing people, whether it be this enemy of yours, or whether it be those that operate like that have that same type of weird ass energy, okay? Yeah, it's like this person, dear one, they're trying to do whatever they can behind the scenes on the low. They don't want you to know that it's them, but they're really trying to go behind the scenes to silence you in some way, shape, or form, okay? Whether it's I'm hearing shadow ban, okay? False reporting you, okay? Whether it's, trying to get the police involved, but they want to lie on you and have people watching you, okay? Have people doing surveillance on you. Anything, dear one, against you to take the heat off of them. This is what they're trying to do, okay? But Spirit says it won't be so, okay? I'm hearing no weapon formed against you shall prosper. Come through, Spirit. And every tongue that rises up against you shall be condemned. That's the sacred text, y'all. It is so. All right, come through, Spirit. And now this one was in reverse, you guys, okay? So it says, your love and bed game is healing. Your love and bed game is healing. It's in reverse. So you guys got an enemy, dear one. They're stuck on stupid. This is for those of you guys where you've had some type of intimate connection or partnership with this person. And they're remembering, the good old days, the good times, before the mask slipped, before you guys recognized that you were sleeping with the enemy, during the love bombing stage when you thought that it was all good in your neighborhood, okay? Yeah, they're reminiscing about, how they love the fact that, you were so healing, that you satisfied them, that you satiated them. Now, again, this person is weird, they got kinks and they got, fetishes that you can't handle that. You would never be good enough for this person, I don't care if you want to be in bed with them 2-3 hours, that ain't good enough. After 2-3 hours, you get up and shower and you trying to relax. In the 5th or 6th hour, they come back again. Okay, something's wrong with this person. Okay, I'm also hearing they have some type of addiction. They have a sex addiction, come through spirit. They have a porn addiction. Yeah. And this person also has an addiction with, trying to monitor people. This is like a monitoring spirit. So some of you guys, dear one, if you've ever had a funny feeling with this person that, even when you were not around with this person and you felt like you were being watched, the most weird times they would call you and it seemed like they were asking you questions that they already knew the answers to, it's because he or she did, because they were weird. Some of them did when they had you under surveillance. Okay, if y'all would have checked the fire alarm, y'all would have saw that red blinking light. That motherfucker is ill. Okay, if y'all would have checked your vehicle before you left them, you would have found that you had some type of tracking device on it. Yeah, you would have found that they was using that Life 360 in a whole different type of way, not to make sure that you were safe, but to make sure that they kept tabs on your ass because they wanted to know where you were. Okay, this person is getting weird because in the type of situation, the dysfunctional family, this cult that they grew up in, being monitored, being surveilled. Damn, I'm hearing to the point where they didn't have no doors on the bathroom. So if they had to go and use the restroom, if they had to go and shower, if they had to go and bathe, the door, they didn't have no door. In other words, they didn't have no privacy. And anyone in their family, oh, this is gross. Come through, spirit. Oh, Lord. Help, hold me back, spirit. Hold me back so I won't go the fuck off. Okay? But this type of person, they grew up in a sick ass situation where they didn't have no privacy. So it almost became normal to them. When you go to the restroom, everybody see what you're doing. Everybody see, what's going on. They know if you're doing a 1 or number 2 and this and that. If you bathe and they know what's going on. Okay. If they didn't have the door, some of them, they had the doors off the hinges and they dared you guys to say anything about it. You would get, not you guys, but I'm saying this enemy of yours, they would get beat down. Okay. I'm in the ethers now. Okay. But not only that, dear one, it was some just really bizarre shit that was going on to the point where your enemy, their mind had to shut down and they had to the best of their ability try to normalize all of this weird ass shit that was going on in their life. And as they got older, without, therapy, without counseling, continuing to be surrounded by these weird ass, gross motherfuckers, again, they turned their traumas into kinks. And so if this person was with you, dear one, before you guys really got hip to the game, before spirit really opened up your eyes, some of you guys may, you may have flashbacks now. Say, yeah, now the sage is saying that crazy motherfucker. When I used to come home from work, I used to have this funny feeling when I would sit down in the living room to watch, television like I was being watched, okay? That's because you were, okay? You either had that motherfucker had a camera in your fire alarm, your carbon monoxide detector, your vent, okay? Your AC or heater split, what you call that splitter thing, they had it in that, okay? Some of them did one, they had it in, the ceiling fan lights and shit, they had bulbs, they had extra type of this and extra type of that in there, okay? They had shit on your phone, different apps that you didn't put on there, different shit on your laptops, shit, cameras and trackers under your car. This motherfucker had all kind of shit on you. And then they had your neighbors watching you. They had other of their family members, other of their friends watching you. Some of y'all used to say, wow, this person I'm with, they so close to their family. They always hanging out with their. Yeah, it wasn't the way that y'all was thinking. This was some weird shit, okay? They was always around their family because their family still felt like, they had some type of control over this person, and they did, okay? This is why this person, they family did run. You was like, damn, I feel like I'm dating the whole family when I'm dating this person. Yeah, because they were so far up your ass, dear one, when you was with this motherfucker. I'm hearing, almost bitch, okay? They were so far up their ass that, everything that she was doing concerning their son or concerning their daughter, they knew about it because they were so far up your enemy's ass. Because they grew up in a cult, okay? So monitoring and surveilling you was a part of the norm because this is how they were raised. They thought it was normal. They thought it was normal to have a camera on you. So, you go in the shower, you getting up to use the bathroom, or they always want to shower with you when you trying to shower. You like, well, goddamn, baby, can I have a little space, I just want to have a little me time. I just want to have a bubble bath, okay? Damn, baby, it's all good. I love you, but, Papa just want to have some me time, Damn, can I bathe, by myself, Can I wash my locks? Can I wash my hair by myself? Goddamn, this person was so far up your ass because, they didn't want you to have no privacy. They didn't know what that was, okay? Because they never got it. So whenever you pulled away, in other words, whenever you were trying to get your privacy come through spirit, they felt offended. They felt, rejected. They felt abandoned. And this is why a lot of them, they demanded to be up under you all the time. You didn't know, no, you didn't have an opportunity to have a boys' night out or a girls' night out. They always trying to bust through the crowd, bust through the party, okay? Damn, girl, can you go out without your man trying to come wherever you at? Nope. Because, he was into that heavy ass surveillance. And then on top of that, very, very insecure. This weirdo here. Now, this has been discovered, dear one. And everybody is talking about it, these people, your enemy's friends, they homeboys, they homegirls, that they, for a long time, they hid their darkness, they hid their upbringing, they may have moved to another state away from their hometown before they started doing what they was doing, before they got established, before they got a job, before they got in the industry, before they started playing sports, whatever the case may be, before they, got to the point where, you would get to know them, but there would be a separation between their life where they were now versus their upbringing, and you guys wouldn't be able to, make that connection. Well, the connections have been made, dear one, and people are talking about it, and this person is humiliated. They're embarrassed, not so embarrassed that they grew up in a cult and realizing that it was wrong because, they're still so touched in the head. Nah, they embarrassed and they pissed off that somebody found out about it and that people, realize that, they're different in a weird type of way and that people ain't really fucking with them no more. People ain't really vibing with them. People are like, nah, bruh, you need to go head on with that, homie. Nah, sis, you need to get on with that. And now you guys are going to be able to connect the dots in terms, this is why this motherfucker was so weird. This is why they kept pressuring me to have, threesomes and foursomes and shit. I said no. I said I ain't into that. And they damn near trying to go off and lose their goddamn mind. This is what they're used to. Some of them, they learned this from their, oh God, help me, spirit. They learned this from their family. Yeah, they were forced to watch people in their family. They were forced to participate with people in their family. So now when they got out into the real world, they turned their trauma into a kink. And, they didn't understand why you wasn't down with the shit that they was down with. And this is why they felt like they had to punish you. This is why they felt like they had to make an example out of you. But dear one, a lot of people are talking about your enemies and, there are a lot of people that's like, nah, something wrong with this mofo, And so meanwhile, if you were in an intimate partnership with them, they still, reminiscing, talking about how the bed game was good, how you was healing, how you was this and that. But dear one, this person was still, cheating on you, They still had, others on the side, They still had, they had men on the side. They had women on the side. They had transgenders on the side, y'all, because this person's very fluid. Now, they're a sex addict, okay? Now, when y'all got to the point where y'all was made to feel like you wasn't attractive enough, where you wasn't beautiful enough, you didn't do this, you didn't do that enough, you wasn't freaky enough. Spirit says, baby, forgive yourself, bruh, forgive yourself. That was not wrong with you. That was something wrong with this person, okay? They wasn't wrapped too tight, okay? They had turned their trauma into a kink, and there was nothing that you could do to satisfy this person, okay? So take yourself off the hook, okay? But they talking about your enemy now. Talking about bad, okay? Yeah. All you people out there, and y'all was like, I thought that, something was wrong with me, I thought I couldn't, satisfy my man, my spouse, my lover, my wife. Nah, that wasn't the case, okay? Want you to know, dear one, they tried to hide this because this was a way to have some type of control over you. Spirit wants you guys to know, okay? In your good, in your glory, in your worst days, okay, your love and your bed game is healing. You on point, bruh. You on point, sis, okay? Never let another person come up in your life and make you think otherwise, okay? Yeah, because, the person that you was with, dear one, they were all about those head games because, they wasn't wrapped too tight. Something was going on because of the way they grew up, okay? Yeah, so that's for somebody. Spirit says release yourself from that feeling that you weren't good enough. Somebody made you feel real bad, like you just couldn't do what needed to be done, if you will. I'm trying to keep it PG-13, okay? But this was never the case, dear one. It was nothing wrong with you. This person could not be satisfied because they have a disorder, based on trauma and how they were raised to think that that was normal, and it's not, okay? Come through, Spirit. Yeah, sometimes people say, they'll try to cover it up. They'll try to cover up a sex addiction and say they're a player. No, you're not. You're not a motherfucking player. You a sex addict and you need to get some motherfucking help. Okay? That's what's wrong with you. Ain't nothing cool about that. Ain't nothing cool with that. Something wrong with you, bro. You need help. Something wrong with you, sis. You need help. Come through, Spirit. All right, let me get off that thing, y'all. What's the gossip on your enemies, dear one? This was in reverse. Oh, come through, Spirit. I was just thinking this. And then Spirit just came on out so I could just say that. Look at Spirit work, okay? Yeah. We have recording artists. It was in reverse. Yeah. Yeah. Some of you guys did one. The gossip on your enemy is that, it was a recording artist. Somebody that used to be popped out, but I'm hearing their 15 minutes of fame is up, okay? This is someone, dear one, where, for all intents and purposes, they really had it going on back in the day. And people will look at this person and say, I can't believe that this person is so weird. I can't believe that this person, grew up in a cult and, they do all types of crazy, weird shit, and they think that that's a good thing, and then they try to seduce people into doing that too, I thought this person, they sing about love, they sing about, a queen, she's a queen to be. Y'all know what that is. Old school, Coming to America. Yeah, he's singing about queens and shit. He's singing about, how he loved the black woman. How he loved all women. And lo and behold, this motherfucker, he got a sex addiction. He's a misogynist, okay, or she. She just can't, relate to a man or a woman in a normal way. Everywhere she goes, she just gotta run and fall down on her knees and trip with her ass up and her head down, okay? Yeah, that's how they were raised, dear one. Yeah. But the tea on your enemies, dear one, the gossip on your enemies is that somebody knows that you guys have a person that is in the public eye. Could be a singer, a rapper, a DJ, a podcaster, radio host, satellite radio, mainstream radio, online radio coming through tough, because I literally see the vision of a microphone in my spirit. Somebody could have a tattoo of a microphone on their body. They could have the tattoo of a musical note, clef note, treble note, music sheet on their body, neck, chest, forearm, hand, front hand, back hand. They could have an ankh on their body. Also an eagle. I saw the tattoo of an eagle. I saw the tattoo of a mic. Yeah, come through, Spirit. And I also saw a lot of stars. You know how they have those cluster stars, you guys? I saw Spirit is showing me tattoos of clusters of stars on the neck, on the arm, on the leg, on the thigh. Come through, Spirit. That's whether they're man or female, okay? But Spirit is, want me to let you guys know that the gossip on one of your enemies, this is a particular enemy, dear one, that's a recording artist, that's a singer, a rapper, or a communicator, a speaker, an author, somebody that, they make a living with their communication skills. They travel, okay, because of what they do, okay? They're on stage, they grip a mic because of what they do. They can record voiceovers, okay? They can record, how they have people doing cartoons or anime, and then they have people that do the voiceovers for the characters. Okay, this person could be doing that. They could be at that type of industry, like a studio recorder where they do background vocals, and then they do voiceovers, for commercials, for ads, for movies, things of that nature. But it has something to do with their voice. Okay, throat chakra still coming through, even though it's in reverse. Okay, yeah. And the gospel on your enemy, dear one, is that a lot of people are knowing that there's a particular person that is a recording artist of some sort, that is a very obsessed a person, a very obsessed enemy, because they try to pretend, dear one, that they really down with you, they for you, they gonna try to help you, they gonna try to support you, or that they see what you got going on, and they're gonna put in a good word for you. But this person is diabolical. Okay, everybody knows that this is your enemy, because this person, dear one, has been talking shit about you behind your back, and a lot of you guys don't even know it. Okay, some of you guys, you may know this person. You recently been trying to work with this person. This person may have lied to you in the past and say, yeah, I'm gonna put you on, this. I want you to, give me some bars for this. I want you to write a hook or sing a hook for that. Something in terms of a collaboration. And a lot of you guys might have been like, well, damn, it's been 3 weeks, it's been 6 weeks, it's been months. Why hasn't, nothing that this person has said to me, why has none of this come into fruition? Because, dear one, this person is a secret hater, because they really want to shelf you. They are very threatened by your potential, okay? And they have been just trying to string you along, okay? I'm hearing like, trying to throw carrots in your face, and they keep moving the bar, they keep moving the carrot. They want to play games with you, yeah? It's like they want to haze you. They don't want to be on the up and up with you, okay? And it's also something about your gift, dear one. They feel as though if they can't control it, if they can't monetize off of it, if they can't make money off of it, then they want to, shut you down, dear one, so that you can't freely move about and do what you need to do as far as that gift is concerned. This is your secret competitor. This is your secret hater. This is your enemy. And there are people around this person, dear one, that are talking about him or her like a dog. And they also know about you, because this person, dear one, whomever they are, they can't keep their raggedy ass, they can't keep your name out their raggedy ass mouth. Okay, yeah. So people are saying, I hope that collective don't fall for this person, because this person, they ain't about they shit, they not gonna help them get nothing off the ground. They not gonna support them, they're not gonna support their project, okay? Yeah, they're not gonna do this and they're not gonna do that. So a lot of people secretly there, when they're saying that, they hope that, you have discovered that this person ain't shit, and that you move away from this person, or that to the best of your ability that you guys cut ties with this person. Do not be affiliated with this person, because their name, dear one, who they are and how they move in these streets and how they move particularly in the industry, they will lower your stock value. They will cause you to walk up into the industry, walk up into the scene, having more enemies than supporters, simply because of who this person is that is trying to ride off of your coattail, ride off of your name in some way, shape, or form. You guys don't want to come up into a situation where you have a good opportunity, and then all of a sudden already you got bad press, you got bad publicity, because you got a motherfucker lying on you. You got someone trying to, clout chase off of you and trying to steal your shit up from under you before you even have a chance to make a clean slate and get to make a name for yourself. This motherfucker whose 15 minutes of fame is up, come through spirit, is trying to ruin your chances. They trying to lower your stock value. They trying to make it so that when you step up on the scene, dear one, because I'm hearing that you're up and coming. For those of you guys where this message most resonates, come through spirit. I'm trying not to be up in the ethos too long now, but spirit got a hold of me. Okay, for those of you guys, dear one, where this message most resonates, you guys can have one foot already in the industry in some way, shape, or form. Okay, you're up and coming. You're like underground, but people are noticing you, baby. They're noticing you cook. You cooking now, and they knowing, and they saying to themselves, God damn, it's this girl is a beast. God damn, this mofo, he with it, okay? He's smooth with it. God damn, it's just a matter of time, okay? And a lot of people, dear one, are sitting back in the cut and they watching y'all, okay? People that have the power to tell you guys yes, where everybody else have told you no, yeah? People, dear one, that have the power to, they'll fly you out, they'll flew you out for real, and they won't be on no janky shit, okay? It'll really be up on that up and up shit, okay? But this person, dear one, who is a recording artist, who's, working back in the cut on the low, doing things to try to sabotage your new beginning, trying to sabotage your future, trying to turn people away from you and say, nah, everything she got going on, that's because of me. I helped her do that. She wasn't smooth with it until I showed her how to do bars. He wasn't smooth with it until I showed him how to do this, how to do that. They's a motherfucking lie. They up there trying to ride off of your shine, dear one, and you ain't even gotten into the door yet. Because some of y'all, I'm hearing from spirit people talking about y'all, in rooms you haven't been in yet. And if you knew who was talking about you, it will blow your mind, okay? And spirit is saying, just keep working, baby. Just keep cooking, because the time will come when the opportunity will meet the time and you're going to catapult. You're going to shoot up, because spirit is all on this thing. It's going to be so that, whatever you guys are stepping into, come through spirit. This ain't nothing that man is going to give you. This ain't nothing that man going to be able to take credit for and say, yeah, I got you, I made you, I discovered you. You's a motherfucking lie. I was already discovered, okay? Yeah, before you came into the picture, okay? I already had the skills to pay the bills, Mo. I already had the sauce to pay the boss, mofo, before you even got into the picture. So don't get it twisted, okay? Come through spirit. Whatever you guys are going to, it's going to be so that nobody can get clout. Nobody can get the credit for your talent, your gift, or your skill. But this person, dear one, this recording artist, this is a snaky ass, slimy ass motherfucker, is definitely trying his or her hardest to clout chase off of you and to create some type of buzz. They want to get a buzz off of you. They want to try to, get in where they fit in, either as a friend, either as a potential business partner, or either as a lover, so that they can create some type of scandal. And the scandal will help them. It will give them a buzz and help them to rejuvenate their dead, fallen ass, janky ass career. Okay? And then at the same time, dear one, it'll cause some friction. It'll cause some stagnation in your movement. Okay? So yeah, people, dear one, are talking about you. These are other people that's in the industry. Yeah. These are other people that may be watching you online. These are certainly people, dear one, that is watching this enemy of yours that is in the recording industry and that is on the low trying to fuck shit up for you, because, their 15 minutes of fame is up and now they trying to get a buzz and they trying to get it off of you. But spirit says the devil is a lie. It won't be so. Come through spirit. Yeah. I'm going to pull some more cards, you guys, just a few more. I'm afraid to look at the timer because I know it's going to blow my mind. I'm going to be like, damn. So I'm going to try not to look at it, okay? I know I've been up in the ethers for a long time, okay? But we're going to pull a few more cards for you guys, okay? So what is the gossip on your enemies, dear one? Okay, what is the gossip on your enemies? Let's see. All right, this says established. Come through spirit. Established, settled, secure, and wealthy. Yeah. The gossip on your enemies, dear one, is that, whereas you're really going to be this, you're really headed for this person, dear one, as they are now, your enemy, they're just fake flexing. They're more interested in trying to appear as being wealthy rather than really putting in the work and the sweat equity to be wealthy, okay? So people are talking about your enemy, dear one. They're talking about how, they're a fake flexer. They are a fraud, okay? They want people to look at them and be jealous of them so bad. They want people to follow them so bad. They want people to, just really think that they all that so bad. Meanwhile, they ain't got shit, okay? They, driving around in cars that don't belong to them, They living in, homes that's not in their name, Yeah, they may claim to have a nice little condo downtown. But Spirit says check the deed, boo. Check the lease, boo, because it ain't got their name on it, okay? Their baby mama or their baby father name might be on it. They could even have a producer's name that's on it, okay? Somebody that's funding them, could be on it, okay? Mima or Paw name could be on it, but they motherfucking name ain't on it. So this person is just a big ass flexer, okay? But dear one, while people are talking about your enemy, okay, people are also understanding that this is the reason why they have come up against you in the first place, because you are really authentically going for it. Your wealth will be authentic. Your wealth would not be about optics. It would not be about smoke and mirrors. It would be about the real deal, the real thing. And this is why this is your enemy in the first place, dear one, because everything that you're doing, that you're getting out of the mud, fair and square, everything that you're getting through honesty and integrity and character, this person is trying to grab it, trying to get it any way necessary, okay? They're trying to by putting their foot on somebody's neck. They're trying to get it by smear campaigning someone or by trying to be real snaky, okay? Because they want, dear one, what you have. They see that wealth on you. I'm hearing rags to riches, okay? And they hate the fact, dear one, that if you continue to do what you're doing without them being able to interfere, without them being able to sabotage, that you're going to pass them up and supersede them. And I'm hearing from spirit hell, for a lot of you guys, you already have, okay? Yeah, this person, it's like, what have you done for me lately? It's like, they're still trying to ride off the cloud of the past. They're still trying to write off, what they used to do, what people used to say about them. But dear one, we in the here and now. And I'm hearing, what have you done for me lately? Dun, 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 dun. Ooh, yeah. Come through, spirit. Yeah. People like, this mofo talking about what the hell he did, back in 2020. Mofo is 2026. What have you done lately? You ain't done anything. You just been running your motherfucking mouth. Yeah, And this is why people know, dear one, that this is why this person has come up against you as your enemy, because they are afraid of your potential. They are afraid of where you're headed, unless, anyone, they can stop you, but they can't, so they ain't. Come through, spirit. Yeah, straight like that, okay? I'm going to give y'all one more message, okay? One more message from the ethers, okay? What is the gossip, collective? What is the gossip on your enemies? Let's see. This really had a lot to do with you guys being in the public eye in some way, shape, or form. And a lot of you guys, your enemy, this is someone that does something for a living with their voice, and you do as well, or will be doing. Yeah, this is someone that you may have had an intimate connection with, or they want to, still trying to. This is someone, dear one, that's in the industry, or, some way, shape, or form, okay? But they're not going to be where you're headed, okay? Yeah, their 15 minutes of fame is up, okay? Yeah, they on that play. They on, I just want people to think I got it going on, I just want people to think that I got that clout, what it's all about. But they don't, okay? Yeah, this is why this person has made you an enemy, dear one. They are deathly afraid of you popping out and being that person, that star that you were designed to be. 333 as I look at my timer. Come through, spirit. All right, last message, y'all, okay? We got the death card here, okay? We got the message of death, okay? Come through, spirit. So, dear one, I'm hearing from spirit right off the bat that the gossip on your enemies is that, they not doing too well. Yeah, the gossip on your enemies, dear one, is that some of them are, they got one foot in the grave there. They're on their deathbed. And a lot of this has to do with karma because of, what they have been trying to do to you. Some of them, dear one, I'm hearing, they have done some janky juju. They have done death magic to you guys. And that's because some of them, dear one, I'm hearing I'm hearing they wanted to make you a ritual sacrifice, okay? And that didn't work, okay? You're too strong. Your ancestors are too formidable, okay? And because of that, dear one, you know how it is. When you put a spiritual hit out on somebody, okay, or when you put somebody else's head on the chopping block and you can't fulfill your part of the deal, then it becomes your head that's on the motherfucking chopping block instead of the person that you signed up to to take their place. Well, now the script has been flipped, dear one, is what I'm hearing from spirit. So whatever type of death contract, spiritual hit, a physical hit, ritual sacrifice that this person has set up for you guys, this is now happening to this person, okay? Now, for others of you guys, the contract, a spiritual hit that was put out on you guys, okay? Some of you guys, it was, death in terms of whatever that you guys have good going on in your life. A beautiful, harmonious relationship. Some of you guys, you're destined to be a mommy. And for those of you guys where this message most resonates, my condolence. For one energy that I'm tapping into, you have been trying for a long time, Ma, to have a baby, okay? And Spirit wants you to know there is nothing wrong with your womb, okay? That, it was some negative energy being thrown at you, yeah? There was some root work being done on you. There was some things being done in the spirit that was... Spirit stopped me. He don't want me to say that. He don't want me to say that, y'all, because that might be too too touching for this person where this message resonates. Thank you, Spirit, for holding me back. But what I will say, dear one, is that for this person whose energy I'm tapped into, Spirit is saying you're going to have a baby. But now you've had somebody that has been doing janky juju on you, okay? They have been trying to block your womb because they know that part of your destiny is to be a mommy, okay? Yeah, part of your destiny is the son or the daughter that you're going to bring into this world is going to be a powerful, powerful being. Star seed, okay? Indigo child, crystal baby, rainbow child, something like that, okay? And someone has been trying to, block your womb. But I'm hearing from Spirit that that death curse on your womb has been reversed, okay? Some of you guys, you're going to find out because Spirit is going to urge you guys to go to the doctor. Go to the doctor, Ma. Go to your OBGYN, and you may discover that you have like some type of cyst or knot on your ovary or your fallopian tube. Thank you, Spirit. Tube keep wanting to come out. Yeah, because they wanted to keep you guys having miscarriages or having an inability to give birth. Okay, this is a raggedy, janky motherfucker, dear one, and they're going down. Okay, you need to know that. Okay, but as for you, dear one, Spirit is saying, you might get an urge to go to, your OBGYN. Okay, and you might learn, dear one, that unbeknownst to you, you had a little cyst or a polyp on your fallopian tube, on your uterus. You might have had some scarring that could have had from from a previous ectopic pregnancy or what's that other thing, Spirit? C-section. There could have been some type of complication, some type of scarring. Some of you guys, dear one, no judgment. You may have had a procedure where you did not bring that baby to full term, if you understand what I'm saying, okay? And Spirit is saying, that curse has been reversed. You have been forgiven. Now you got to forgive yourself. But there is someone that has also been trying to do some janky juju on your womb, and it is being reversed. You're going to learn that maybe you have some fibroids or something, that it happened in the spirit from this death work that they were doing on your womb. And then because you didn't catch it when Spirit was trying to alert you through the dream realm. You didn't catch it when Spirit is trying to alert you through a download. It continued to manifest, and come down into the earth realm, the spirit realm, and it manifests as a physical issue, which for a lot of you guys, or for this one particular energy that I'm tapping into, may have manifested as some type of polyps or ovarian cysts or fibroids. And when you go to the doctor, they're going to find that, and you're going to have that removed, and you're going to heal. And in the divine timing, you're going to have a baby, okay? So don't give up, okay? That's for you. Spirit says you know who you are, okay? But for others of you guys, dear one, the gossip on your enemies is that, all of the death magic that they hauled at you guys, whether it be, not being able to produce a baby, or not being able to produce a business, not being able to produce the life that you want, not being able to produce a harmonious relationship, okay? Not being able to create or produce, or for you to have some type of freak accident where, your destiny would be aborted, your promise that was promised to you from Spirit and your ancestors would be put on hold or cut short, okay? Yeah, this has reversed back to this person. I'm hearing return to sender. And so a lot of them, dear one, this last return to sender that was done either by you or by your ancestors or by you and your ancestors, this has hit this motherfucker. And they're going down, okay, through some type of illness. Yeah, some of them are going to be taken out of here. They're going to be taken out of their body. Some of them, dear one, they meant for you all to have some type of ceremony. But Spirit is saying, now they mama going to have to buy that black dress. Yeah, and she going to have to figure out if she want to wear a hat with that or pearls with that. Yeah, now it's going to be some slow singing and flower bringing on the other side, but it ain't going to have nothing to do with you and your side. Come through, Spirit. This is what they have done because they should not have been fucking with you. Because what they have been doing, I'm hearing they did too much. They did the most. They took it too far. and it was unwarranted, and it was unjust. And because they still don't know how to get nowhere and sit their stupid ass down, Spirit got to take them out. I said, I'm hearing the sacred text. They died so that I may live. Some of y'all, this enemy is so weird and so wretched and so wicked that Spirit literally got to take them out, y'all, so that you can have freedom, so that you can live your life, so that you can stop looking over your shoulders, so that you can stop having this predator stalking and harassing your ass. Now, I'm getting pissed off now. Hold me back, Spirit. Okay? But this is the last message, dear one, okay? I'm hearing death becomes you. Yeah, they wanted this to be you. They really wanted your life to be shortened. You know, they wanted to snuff out your life. Somebody that could be in the dark arts, dear one, in some kind of way, perhaps they may have gotten a reading on you. Perhaps they could have gotten somebody to throw bones on you, or to water scry, mirror scry, come through Spirit, or do some type of work on you, dear one, where they were able to tap into your energy just a little bit, or maybe into your Akashic records just a little bit, to see the beautiful future that you had. And this, you know, enraged this person, and they, from that point on, dear one, had set out to try to snuff out your life early. You know, like they wanted your gifts, your talents, your skills, the books that you're supposed to write, the songs that you're supposed to sing and create, okay? The merch that you're supposed to produce, the brands that you're going to be a part of, come through Spirit, the business that you're going to launch, okay? All of the hair, all of the things that you're going to do, the barbershop, bruh, that you're going to erect, the tattoo shop, the truck company that you're about to erect, bruh, the land that you're about to buy and purchase and, you know, create some type of situation, okay? The farm that you're going to buy, sis, where you're going to have some type of nonprofit organization where you're saving the horses or saving the animals, saving the chicken, saving something, you know, doing something that is a part of your purpose. They wanted that snuffed out. So they wanted you guys to have an early death to abort your purpose. But Spirit says it won't be so. Okay. I also just heard trigger warning that come through Spirit. This may also apply to all of the enemies that participated in the early demise of Nolan Wells. Rest in peace, Nolan Wells. These motherfuckers are going down. And Spirit says, you know, it may not be in you all's divine timing, our divine timing when we want it to happen. But Spirit says, rest assured, I will not be mocked, okay? God will not be mocked. For what you reaped in the dark, it shall be exposed in the motherfucking light. I'm paraphrasing, y'all. Yeah. But, you know, death is going to come to these people. Death of their business, death of their favor, death of their prestige, death of their material possessions. Death of some of their children, death of them, early death, okay? Yeah, it's going to happen to them, dear one. Death of their mind, okay? You know, what am I hearing? What's that A word? Thank you, Spirit. Alzheimer's, dementia. Yeah, before it's all said and done, Spirit says some of them, they're going to have a slow burn, because it's going to be too easy to take them out, okay? So they're going to have a slow death, okay? Yeah, where everything can be felt. Slow death, where everything that they, you know, got their riches and their silver and gold from is going to be removed from them, taken from them, stripped from them, transferred from them to somebody else. Slow burn. And, you know, they're going to be wishing, hoping, and praying for relief, but relief won't goddamn come. Come through, Spirit. I say, hold me back now. Rest in peace to Nolan Wells. These families are under a curse. They have always been under a curse, but now it's going to be seen. Spirit is going to show his mighty hand. Also, I'm hearing from Spirit, come through Spirit, why are you taking me here, Spirit? Spirit is saying the state of Mississippi is under judgment, and that a lot of people who is on the team of light, Spirit is going to give them warning. Spirit is going to give you guys warning to move, to relocate, to do whatever you have to do to go to higher ground. because the state of Mississippi is going to be rocked. They're going to be rocked with those, you know how we say, was that a natural disaster? You know, a lot of these disasters, dear one, they don't be natural because, you know, they're manipulated. The weather is manipulated. You know, if you know, you know. I ain't got time to get into that right now. But Spirit is saying, you know, for this particular judgment that Mississippi is under, the storms, the calamities, the crisis, whether through flood or through fire or both, it's going to come because of judgment, not because of man, because man won't be able to stop it. But you know, I'm also hearing that Spirit also gives grace to his people because the ancestors are crying out. The blood of Nolan Wells and all of those before him are crying out. Those that happened on the same time. You know, their demise happened on the same time as Nolan Wells, but for whatever reason, you know, they're not getting coverage, you know. For every Nolan Wells, there's 10, 20, 30, 50 or more whose blood is crying out. And Spirit is saying their enemies are under judgment. Death is coming to their enemies because their ancestors, our ancestors, are crying out. The blood of the innocent, of every man, woman, and child whose life has been snuffed out, whose purpose, whose destiny to be a star, to be, you know, an athlete, to be a singer, to be a judge, to be, you know, a motivational speaker, to be a professor, to be the inventor of the first this or the first that, okay? To, you know, to be the first to erect a, you know, a nonprofit organization that is going to shake and move this world in a way that has never been shaked and rocked and moved before. Because that was snuffed out, they and their generations up to the third and fourth and fifth generations will have a curse upon them that cannot and will not be removed, says Spirit. And Mississippi is about to be rocked. It's under judgment, but he's going to make sure that his people, my people who are called by my name, if you would just humble yourselves and pray and kneel unto my voice, I will heal you and heal the land. He's either going to listen to the voice of his people that will cry out and he will heal the land, or he gonna get y'all up out of that land and he gonna rock that motherfucker is what's gonna happen. Now, you heard it here from your girl. Okay, I don't like giving that type of news. Okay, yeah, but this is what I have been primed to say, and I had to say it. Okay, so I'm going to be obedient to Spirit. Okay, but this is the message, this is the word as it relates to Spirit is saying to not just the family of Nolan Wells, not just to the family of those that have been, you know, a product, a victim of this tradition of white supremacy, this tradition of ritual sacrifice under different names, but all of us collectively, whether you're black, whether you're white, whether you're brown, whether you're orange, whatever color you are, because it's about the spirit, not about the flesh. There has been this familiar ancestral spirit that has been, you know, just running amok through the bloodlines of some of these people that have been susceptible to this, where the spirit of death, murder, ritual sacrifice, you know, Satanism, supremacy has ruled. And these families are under judgment, is what Spirit says. These families are under judgment. Up into the third and the fourth generations, you're under judgment, you're under a curse, and Spirit says it will not be removed. So now the people that are already in harm's way, Spirit is going to be working with those people to get up and get out so you can get safe. I heard get on higher ground because he's about to rock Mississippi. That's the word. And these people, dear one, they are a collective enemy of ours. These people who have allowed through generation to generation for their vessels to be used as a vessel for demonic, satanic rituals and hatred and wickedness and bloodthirst and bloodshed. They are all of our enemies. Not only to black people, but to white people too. Because it ain't all of them. Every white person, dear one, is not a white supremacist. Y'all need to know that. Not every white person is a white nationalist. Not every white person is a member of the Triple K Association. You need to know that, okay? Your girl is married to a white man, and that's the best man I've ever known and met in my life, and he treated me better than a lot of people that look like me ever did. But that's a topic for a whole nother video. Come through, Spirit, with the confirmation. We know it to be true. It's not about the flesh, it's about the Spirit. And Spirit is also saying, don't allow these diabolical white supremacists to turn this into a race war, into a race problem, to set back the advantages and the progress that we have made together as a people. Collectively, all colors of the rainbow. Don't allow these white supremacists to hide behind, one total race, one total culture, and say that all of them are like that, because that's a motherfucking lie. God will not be mocked, is what I'm hearing from Spirit. Hold me back, Spirit. Hold me back, okay? So, move with discernment, move with discretion, move with prayer, because you got to look beyond the eyes. You got to look beyond their flesh, what they look like. You better get down to the source of what that spirit do. Because therein is going to let you know whether you're safe or whether you're not around this person that has allowed their body, their vessel, to be a willing temple for the dark forces that has come up against all of us. We all in this together, says Spirit. So do not be fooled, you guys. Do not be fooled, okay? All right, hold me back, Spirit. All right, I'm going to give y'all some signs, okay, for those of you guys who chose card 2, okay? Then I'm going to say hi to the chat for as many of you guys as I can, okay? And then I'm going to turn it loose, okay? All right, so here we go, y'all. Thank you, Spirit. For those of you guys where this message most resonates, you or they, dear one, could very well be a Pisces, Aries, Leo, Libra, Gemini, Capricorn, Taurus, Sagittarius, if I didn't say so already. Thank you, Spirit. I'm also hearing Aquarius rising, Gemini moon, Scorpio moon, Sagittarius rising, and Sagittarius moons. Lots of moons, dear one, because Spirit is saying, that which has been hidden is now coming to the surface. It is being exposed, okay? There's going to be a collective healing. A collective healing is coming to sweep the land. But at the same time, judgment is also coming to sweep the land. Okay, and I'm also hearing, dear one, I'm seeing this angel come through, Spirit, that is flying by, and he has like some type of gadget in his hand. It almost looks like a laser, and he's beaming the laser on every man, woman, and child. And when he beams the laser on them, a color is popping up, and that color is going to let that angel know whether this person's heart is pure and right, and whether they will evade judgment, or whether this person's heart is dark and heady, and whether they are under judgment. There's a color. There's a color in your aura. There's a color in your energy. There's a color in the ether that sounds out when you breathe, when you speak, when you talk, when you do whatever you do. Come through, Spirit. Spirit says your energy emits a frequency. It's like a color light, and it lets the team of light, particularly this angel. Spirit is not letting me know the name of this angel that has this laser, but every last one of us on every given day, because energy is constantly moving, constantly fluid, constantly changing. I'm hearing from Spirit every day there is a laser from this angel that is beamed on us. And every day our thoughts, our actions, our intentions, our agendas is being weighed, and a color is emitting to show whether we are of the light or of the darkness, whether our intentions and our agendas are pure, or whether it's wicked and we are being weighed, okay? So every day, y'all need to keep that in mind. Just because, you think people ain't watching, people are watching, entities are watching, beings are watching, angels, archangels are watching, Spirit and your ancestors are watching. The Most High, Supreme God is watching. So keep that in mind, okay? Of course, us tarot readers, us witches and wizards, we're being watched, whether you're of the dark or of the light. Your girl Sage, I'm in the middle. I am the bridge between the light and the darkness. This is my assignment, says Spirit. And he weighs my heart every day too. That's why sometimes y'all, don't y'all know I want to get up in the ass of some of my enemies. And sometimes Spirit gives me the green light and he says, go for it. Get their ass. And then sometimes he says, I know you want to. Fall back. I know you want to. Hold on. I know you want to. Stand down. Now, for those of for those of you guys who watch us, tarot readers, spiritualists, witches and wizards and things of that nature, you will know those of us who work according to light and those according to darkness. Because those of us who work according to light, we don't just go all willy-nilly doing whatever the fuck we want to do, okay? We realize that we are co-creators, okay? We are not God. We are not, the God in other people's lives, okay? We just can't do shit whenever we want to do it. We have to answer to that. We have to wait on instructions to do that. Every reading that I get from the Most High, that I get from Spirit, when I channel, when I meditate, is every type of message that he will give me permission to give. Don't you know that I have certain clients and customers that come to me and Spirit says, I can't read everybody. Now, I'm letting y'all know because y'all wouldn't know that, because this is on the back end. Your girl Sage don't take every customer. I don't take every client. I'm not allowed to. My ancestors and Spirit won't allow me to take everybody. It's for a reason, okay? So, if y'all watching us, y'all need to make sure that you all are watching us with a discerning eye. Because witches and, wizards and readers and people that, they doing shit all willy-nilly and they just running amok and shit, they not on a team of light. And their ass is getting ready to go under judgment, okay? Especially when they're deceiving people, especially when they're harming people, especially when they're violating people's free will, especially when they want to just feed people's delulu to get money. They're under judgment, is what I'm hearing from Spirit. It's just coming out, y'all. I'm trying to end it. I'm trying to end it now. I'm just being told to say this, so I'm being obedient. But I say all that to say, Spirit is saying, we're all being watched. Ain't none of us taking off the hook, okay? Even your girl Sage. I can't do everything I want to do. I can't say everything I want to say. I can't go certain places I just can't go. Certain things I just can't do. Because I'm under governance to a higher power, to a higher source, okay? Yeah. So, but I say all that to say, we all being watched. We're all having our hearts and our spirits and our minds weighed by this particular archangel, warrior angel. Again, Spirit will not give me his name. But we're all being watched. So, you guys govern yourselves accordingly, okay? Govern yourselves accordingly. That's the bottom line. And, it's either justice or judgment in this season. Make sure you are on the right side. I don't know about y'all, but I don't want my ass whipped by Spirit. I can't handle it. Okay? I'd rather come up against man any day than to come up against Spirit. Okay? All right, y'all. Did I give y'all some signs? I'm in the ethers. Okay, I got a green flash. I did. Okay. So that's the tea, y'all, okay? That's the tea that you need to set you free, all right? So I'm going to look at, damn, y'all. Okay, I said I wasn't going to look at the timer. Woo, 2 hours, y'all. I've been in the ethers, okay? I'm about to hurry up and turn it loose, yeah? Let me say hi to a few of you guys in the chat, okay? I thank you guys so much for spending your time to come in here and holler at your girl, okay? And get that tea that you need to set you free, okay? On this Sunday morning, evening, noon, or night, whatever that it is in your neck of the woods, okay? Because you guys could be doing anything, watching anybody. And I'm so grateful that you guys took the time out to watch me, to watch your girl, okay? Yeah, I also want to let you guys know, for those of you guys who are still wondering, personal readings are still currently available, okay? No pressure. But if you would like to get a reading, just to let you know that I'm here when you need me. All you got to do is email your girl at WIZDOM@gmail.com. That's WIZDOM and sage@gmail.com, and then write personal reading in the subject line, okay? Do y'all see how I get down with the shit during a general read? Do y'all know how down I am with the shit for a personal read? I just want to let you know. Yeah. And not only that, y'all, I'm very professional. I'm confidential. Your business will not go to anybody except for you and I, Spirit, your ancestors, my ancestors, and my tax and business attorney. Okay? That's it. Okay? So, you never have to worry about your sensitive information going out to any other people or person other than who it's supposed to be. Okay? I'm your girl. Okay? I have been tested and shown approved. I live this thing. I breathe this thing. This is not a game to your girl. This is my purpose. Okay? All right, so I just wanted to put that out there for you. I'm here when you need me. Okay? All right. Okay, y'all, so let's see what we got up in here, okay? We got God's Design Tarot. Hi, God's Design Tarot, okay? I read this before earlier. She was like, she chose a throat chakra card. Very good. And I hope, God's Design Tarot, that you heard some messages in there that resonated with you, okay? Yeah. Cersei, what's up, Cersei? I'm seeing a lot of the Sage Squad up in here. Sage Squad, holla at your girl. Cersei sent, Unc alert for 440 jewels. I saw that out the corner of my eyes, and that was so cute. Thank you, Cersei. I appreciate that, love. Okay. And then Sean says, hey, what up, Sean? How are you, sweetheart? I hope that you're doing well. Kia, I've seen you before. Hi, Kia. I want to see you more, love. Okay. Welcome to the House of Sage. Welcome to the Sage Squad. You wisdom seeker, you. Okay. Love to see you. Okay. I want to see you more. Someone just gave me a gift. Thank you, sweetheart, for that, whoever you are. I'm gonna scroll down and see who you are. And then you says, everyone make sure to like, share, and subscribe. That's right, Kia, let them know, okay? Support your girl, okay, as I do my work, okay? Yeah. And then Leah Tony Musk says, what is it? 1, I live to love. 1, I live to love. 3, lifetimes over, forever. 5, truth. 6, sense. 7, fold. 8, infinity. 9, portal. Complete. 11, threshold. 12, kingdom. 13, share truth be told. Well, all right, Leah Tony Musk. Okay, you dropping some jewels there. I'm gonna have to go back over there and just really get the full message of what you mean, because I know you dropped some jewels. Okay, thank you for that, love. Okay. Pretty Brown Eyes 9133 says, that's right, they sure did. Yeah, so you heard some confirming messages, dear one, in terms of your enemies. Yeah. And then Danny Lovely says, let them talk. They gonna talk and talk themselves into a whole lot of trouble. Talk themselves into consequences, talk themselves into a whole lot of shit, okay? That, they mouth ain't gonna be able to get them out of it, okay? Yeah, while they talking a whole bunch of yin and a whole bunch of yang, okay? They gonna tell on themselves, just let them do what they do. Okay, Danny? Yeah. Pretty Brown Eyes again says 24/7 surveillance. Yeah. So yeah, you're finding that, Pretty Brown Eyes, that you have an enemy or enemies that are constantly watching and surveilling you guys. These people are weird. They're creepy. Okay. It's like, the obsession is really real. Okay. It's really real. Yeah. And then you put true, so true. Okay. And then you said Pretty Brown Eyes reminds me of that Jill Scott song, Hate on Me. Hate on me. Hate on me, hater. Now or later. Something. Yeah, I know the song you're talking about, okay? And then that Princess, some I Hate You. Now that one I'm not familiar with, okay? I'm not familiar with that one, but I'm pretty sure it's a banger. And then Franca Dam Luna sent gold coin for 10 jewels. Thank you so much, Frank. I appreciate that very much. Okay. And then sent star for 2 jewels. Thank you. You're sending all of the beautiful gifts. I love it. Your girl is just a big old kid. Yeah. And I love to see these emojis and gifts and stuff and the jewels. I just love it. It lets me know that you appreciate me. And I thank you so much for that. Okay. And then Kia says, now him and his mother and the side piece is trying for me. Oh, see there? But it won't work. Touch not my anointed and do my prophets no harm. And I know that's right. Yeah, they're under judgment. And this is one of the reasons, dear one, why Spirit led me to do this reading, so that you guys could be like that proverbial fly on the wall, okay? Some of you guys are going to be made privy to be able to sit back and watch your enemy, get that open can of kick-assery, because Spirit gave them warning after warning to leave you guys alone, and they refused to. So now Spirit is going to make an example out of them, and for some of you guys, you're going to be lucky enough to have front row seats to watch, okay? Yeah, come through, Spirit, straight like that, okay? And then Pretty Brown Eyes says, that sure is the truth, okay? And then Ivy Russell says, wow, you are on point. Well, thank you so much, love, okay? And I give thanks and credit to the Most High and to Spirit and my ancestors that don't play about me, okay? They had your girl go under some serious training, okay? So I have been, studying and showing myself approved, okay? I have gone through the initiation by fire, okay, to get what I got and to do what I do. So I'm so grateful that you recognize that, okay, and thank you so much. I appreciate that, Ivy. And then Pretty Brown Eye says, right, Cersei, clock it for 80 joules. I know that's right. Thank you, sweetheart. I appreciate that. And then Judy Bouquet 212 says, will I get my daughter back? We are estranged at this time, okay? Well, Judy, love, I would love to answer that question for you. But like I was telling, my subbies here, the more and more that I see you guys show up in the chat, and the more that I see you guys leave and drop your beautiful comments, show how the readings are resonating with you, that's when a Spirit will lead me to come on, and one day during one of the lives, I'm going to let one of you lucky subs know that I'm going to do a yes or no oracle message for free, okay? So, but before then, okay, I need to make sure, Judy, that you're a part of the squad, okay? That you're not just a passerby. So I'm going to need to see you more, okay? So welcome. I'm glad to see you. Hold on to your question, sweetheart. And if Spirit say it be so, you're going to be in here at the right time, to get your question answered, okay? All right, so hold your question, love. Pretty Brown Eyes says, having my picture on voodoo dolls and sticking pins in it. Yeah, they will do some janky shit like that. Yes, they will. And then they have nerve to sit back in a cut and think that, you're not going to figure it out, okay? That you don't have the gift of discernment, that you're not clairvoyant, that you can't see that shit, that you can't have dreams about that shit, that you can't get downloads about that shit. Yeah, they do it. They do it all the time. And that's why a lot of them, they're under heavy judgment now, because they don't know how to get nowhere and sit their ass down. Now, if you was to ask this enemy, dear one, point blank period, what you did to them, they wouldn't have no answer. I just don't like her. She just thinks she all that. I just don't like this bitch. You ain't got no reason, ho. Sit your ass down, okay? And you about to get sat down, because you didn't know how to sit down in the first place. So now you got to be forced to sit down. Come through, Spirit. And then you says, I believe it, and they sure do, okay? And then Kia says, our light triggers their darkness. Yes, it does. It's just really diabolical. And you would think, dear one, that, okay, if that is the case, which it is, why don't you just leave us be? Why don't you leave us alone? Stop looking at us then. If our light is triggering you, then, common sense would say, stop looking, goddammit. Take your ass on somewhere. Because, as for your girl, Sage, if there's people that come into my timeline that I don't like, I'm just going to, pretend as though they don't exist. I'm not going to be stalking them. I'm not going to be lurking on their social media. I'm not going to be trying to find out where they work and this and that and who they with. I don't care, okay? So, by the mere fact that these people are so triggered by our light, and then on top of that, they're obsessed with us, it's giving confused fan. Okay, yeah, it's giving bunny boiler, it's giving single white female tendencies, okay? It's giving 50 shades of fucked up. Please go get your meds, bruh. Please go get your meds, sis, because you're out of your fucking mind. Because if you don't like me, you shouldn't be looking at me. You shouldn't be bothered and worried about what the hell I'm doing, okay? Shouldn't be no concern of yours, So absolutely. And then Pretty Brown Eye says, preach, sis. Energy vampires. That's what they are. And then you said they spend thousands of dollars on practitioners in black magic. Oh yeah, they'll do that, okay? Yeah, they'll claim that they don't have no money to help somebody or to help you if this is like a person you know or a so-called family member that's supposed to love you but they really hate your ass, okay? Yeah, they'll have every excuse in the book, dear one, to not help you, to not support you or lift you up, but they'll sure have a whole lot of money to give to a practitioner to, bind you, to, hem you up in some type of way, Again, the obsession is real and it's very diabolical what they'll do. Do you know what people can do with thousands of dollars? And here they are spending it on, practitioners and babalawas and dark high priests and dark high priestesses to get at you. And half of y'all, Spirit says more than half, y'all ain't done nothing to these people or to this person that is your number one enemy, your number one op. These motherfuckers are just ill. Come through, Spirit. And then Kia says, what's the word on the curve, sis? I like how you worded that. Shoot, I might have to do me a reading called What's the Word on the Curve? And I'll have to give you a shout out, Kia. I like that. And then Selma Cadre says, hi. What up, Selma? How are you, love? Okay. Degrees. He put some E's on that, so that means you got to sing it. Degrees says, all the dark magic backfiring. Well, yes, it is, sir. Yes, it is. Kia says, ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun, and you know that's the truth, okay? And then Pretty Brown Eye says, that's right, I can see that. Sue says, hi Sue Wab, how are you, love? I've seen you more. I've been seeing you more lately in the chat, so I appreciate you. I want to let you know, me and Spirit, we got our eyes on you. We watching, okay? Yeah, you gunning for a spot so that, when that time comes for me to give a free oracle message, okay, you want to make sure you're in the running, okay? And I ain't mad at you, okay? Yeah, welcome. And then Pretty Brown Eye says, for real. Cynthia Lizenby says, hi Cynthia, how are you? Pretty Brown Eye says, yes, preach, he sure does and did. Okay, and she says, really, Pretty Brown Eyes, I love it that you are really resonating with the reading, love. Okay, that gives my heart joy. So I'm very, very grateful that you're able to get that tea that you need, that's going to free you, liberate you, that's going to make things clear, whereas before you might have been a little confused or you didn't know all of the facts, okay? And that Spirit gives it to me from the ethers, okay? All of that is going to be made clear. A lot of that has been made clear to you on today, sweetheart, and I'm so glad for that, okay? So good on you, okay? And then Kia says, like, share, and subscribe, and comment. That's right, Kia is hyping me up. Hype me up. Yeah, thank you so much for that, love. I appreciate that so much, okay? And then Young Hellion, Me, Life, Ra, Sanct, I think that's what it is, 8099 says, wow, yeah, Young Hellion, your girl is down with the shit. I don't play no games. Yeah, I'm getting it straight from the ethers, straight from Spirit, so you know that it's true, you know that it's real, okay? And then Young Hellion has given me the dap with the wolf. I like that, very cool. Okay, Pretty Brown Eye says, exactly, yes ma'am, you preaching, okay? Leslie Tyler Cassell 6098 says, preaching, thank you, love, I'm glad that the reading resonated with you. Cersei says, Indigo Child indeed turned 13 this spring. Well, I love it, yeah. And now that you know that you're one of those special people that has a special little one that you brought into this world, Cersei, you definitely know that, there's a high calling on your life, because, you not only have it on you, but you have it on your child, okay? So that's how you know you got to stay protected and prayed up, because people gunning for you because of you and because of your seed, okay? Yes, indeed. All right, and then Darian Christie says, or chipping. Oh, yeah, so I think you meant like, as far as like the type of surveilling that they do, Darian. Yeah. They'll do tracking. They'll chip your phone. They'll chip, a lot of devices. They sure will, sir. Yes, they will. Because they're weird. That's weird ass weirdo shit. And that's what they do. Okay. Yeah. And then Perry Schuler says, good afternoon, pretty lady. Do have a big cash coming my way. Capricorn, Mr. Perry. I'll answer that, Perry Schuler, when I see you a little bit more in the chat, love, okay? And if it be so, if Spirit says it be so for particular question to get answered, then I'm gonna give you that tea that you need to set you free, okay? So hold to that question, okay, love? And then Al Jackson Storm EN says, "Sheesh, okay. Did you get a little overwhelmed from the message, okay? Al Jackson, okay. I hope you didn't. I hope you was able to handle this tea, okay. I gave it to you a straight shot, no chaser, okay. Yeah, that's how I'm wired, okay. I can't do the love and light and the la-di-da. I'm gangster, okay. So I hope you can handle it, okay. Yeah." And then Perry Schuler says, am I having women in my life? Okay, that's another question. Very interesting how you worded that. It's all kind of bundled together there, Perry. But again, hold that question, love, for next time. And, hopefully, perhaps will be a person that will be chosen for me to answer your question, okay? And then Destiny 888 sent a star for 2 jewels. Thank you, Destiny. I saw that out of the corner of my eyes, but I didn't see your name, okay? And then you sent the 3 hearts, okay? So cute, okay? With the little clappy face, the little clappy hands, okay? Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it, Destiny. And I believe this might be the first time that I've seen you in my chat. Maybe you've been in here more, but I recognize you today for sure. So I want to see you more, Destiny. I want you to become a part of your girls' vibe tribe, okay? And you're very welcome here, okay? All right. So, you guys, that is the tea, okay? So I'm going to turn it loose, bid you guys adieu to go head on and enjoy the rest of your beautiful day, evening, noon, or night, whatever time that it is in your neck of the woods, okay? Love yourselves and love the ones that love you, okay? And love the ones you with, okay? Don't be goose naked. Don't be thinking that it's something better on the other side, okay? If Spirit has blessed you with a relationship with a person, treat that person the way that you want to be treated, okay? That's for somebody. Somebody needed to hear that, okay? All right, I'm going to shut it down, y'all. I'll be on here all dang on day long, okay? All right, y'all. So until next time, love you much. Stay beautiful, stay blessed, and stay great. Peace.